Clones, listen up. Not all beef jerky is the same. In fact, there are major differences in quality from one brand to the next. Old Trapper is a better way to snack, chock full of good protein to satisfy your manliest hunger cravings. Every bite is better for you and higher in essential protein than chips, sugar-filled energy bars, and candy. Old Trapper in the Clearview bag is the world's finest jerky, made with only the best ingredients. So ask for Old Trapper by name because no other jerky compares. Old Trapper, what's your beef?
911, what's your emergency?
God, there's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still hasn't stopped. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Can't make it to the game? Relax. Bostic Sugg Furniture can provide you with the best seats in the house. We have the area's largest selection of Lazy Boy motion furniture in stock and ready to go. Lazy Boy recliners, reclining sofas, love seats, and reclining sectionals in hundreds of colors, styles, fabrics, and leather, all at a very comfortable price. Remember, when it comes to Lazy Boy motion furniture, we're your ticket to the best seats in the house. Bostic Sugg Furniture in Greenville.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
Temperatures are in the low 30s at 10 a.m., increasing sharply to 75 degrees by 1 p.m., and then dropping into the teens by 10 p.m. So before you go to work, put on some gloves, pack some shorts, and a parka. That should cover you for the day.
Your heating and cooling is taking a beating. Guarantee your family's comfort all fall and winter with a new Train system. It's hard to stop a train. For a limited time, get a new Train system with 0% financing for 60 months. Go to DelcorInc.com for more information. Delcor, the service professionals. See your independent Train dealer for details. Call 1-888-534-6898 for details.
The fun place to dine out with friends and family is Familia. Familia has something for everyone and offers favorites like New York-style pizza, lasagna, homemade meatballs, plus new specials like chicken parm alfredo, mahi fish and chips, chicken piccata, veggie burger, butternut squash ravioli, and more. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College, and FamiliaNC.com.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Unfortunately, many organizations today simply react to IT issues after the damage is done. This is known as the break-fix cycle in the tech service industry. University PC Care's Business Services Division has a better way, a proactive solution called BizCare. What's at your office? Call William at University PC Care today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients from our toppings bars or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. We're Greenville Auto World, across from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this one purple!
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Man, I was like fired up, ready to go. My mic was off.
Sorry, your producer screwed up and had the wrong button pushed.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
Oh!
Shirley, are you okay?
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Chandler, what is happening to Shirley? It's Halloween week.
It's the full moon. A hurricane's coming. What else is going on? Oh,
Friday
the time changes
football,
or something. I don't know.
Everything's happening.
I'm so damn confused.
All right. We're going to be okay through this next 3 hours because we have a packed show for you today with a lot of guests to get to here on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington, online, PR927FM.com. And you can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Subscribe to Pirate Radio TV on YouTube Live, and you can watch our shows. This program, The Brian Bailey Show, and, of course, everything we do on game days with the Bud Light pregame tailgate and the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. All right, setting up the program today. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we will talk to the play-by-play voice of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. That is the next opponent for East Carolina. We'll talk to Bruce Howard coming up in just a little bit and ask him, when did Tulsa get so good at football? Because they appear to be a very good team, and we'll talk about what they've done so far this season with Bruce Howard. Brian Meador will join us at 3:30. We'll talk ECU athletics, and I'll give him a attaboy for his Dodgers winning the World Series last night, and we'll dive into that and the decision made by Tampa Bay manager Kevin Cash to take Blake Snell out of the game. He was cruising, gave up a hit with one out in the 6th inning, I believe, and then was yanked from the game. Dodgers immediately scored 2 runs, and that was all she wrote in the World Series last night. We'll talk to Meador about that and talk about his Cowboys as well. 4 o'clock, Morgan Ahlers, voice of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, will join us inside the Pirate Radio studios. We will talk Pirate football with Morgan, hear what Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell had to say yesterday in their Zoom press conferences. Also, Brian North will join us at 4:15. We might get a NASCAR race in today. More on that in a moment. They are still in Texas trying to get the race that started Sunday in, and maybe they'll be able to do that in a couple of hours. We'll have that news for you in just a moment. The voice, Jeff Charles, is at 5 o'clock joining us on the program. And then Kelly Hines from the Tulsa World will join us a little bit more on Tulsa football in the 5 o'clock hour. It's a lot of stuff, Shirley.
Yeah, that is a lot of stuff.
It's a packed show.
We're going to be busy.
We also got to go to the Shirley Rhodes news desk. We got news on AAC basketball, the preseason polls. And how about 2 Pirates on the first team all AAC, one on the men's side, one on the women's side?
Yeah, you got Jaden Gardner, who somehow last year was left off the first team all AAC. Despite all of the numbers that he had last year, he was left off. I think he got picked second team last year, and but this year he was a unanimous first team all AAC selection. Rightfully so, and well deserved. And so congratulations to him. And then on the women's side, LaShonda Monk, who is the point guard for East Carolina, gets a first-team preseason selection. She is the first Pirate for the women's program to be chosen as a first-team selection because if you think back to Jada Payne, Jada was a second-team All-Selection. So LaShonda is the first woman to do so for the women's basketball program. She's also the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and she is the first non-UConn player to win that award. She did that last year, so she is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Looking forward to the season kicking off. So some well-deserved accolades for basketball before the season even starts.
So LaShonda Monk, the first Pirate to be selected preseason.
First team.
I was going to ask, when is the last time we had a men's basketball player and a women's basketball player on the first team? And this would be there was no last time because Jada Payne, who arguably one of the best basketball players to come through the women's basketball program in quite some time, she was a second team selection. So LaShonda is the first women's basketball player to be first team. Awesome. So that's good stuff. And again, without UConn in the AAC, that season for the women and especially the AAC tournament going to be a lot more interesting. There's no foregone conclusion of who the champion will be.
I mean, it's going to be a wide open field, and I like it. I like our chances.
Yeah.
I mean, most people just say, it's basically the battle for second place when UConn was in the AAC, but now it's wide open. Anybody can grab that trophy.
Some other news, and this happened shortly after Pirate Radio Live yesterday, but we learned that a former Pirate got signed.
Yes,
by
Dwayne
an
Harris.
NFL team.
Dwayne Harris is now a Chicago Bear, which elates one Troy D. But he is going to be, I believe they signed him as a punt returner. So they had some injuries on that special teams, and they really wanted to kind of divide the responsibilities as far as having a kickoff specialist, a punt returner, and just divide those roles. And so they've done that. And so we'll see what Dwayne has in his arsenal as a Chicago Bear. It'll be very interesting, especially because, like you said, was it you that said it yesterday that there is a potential that he could see more action as opposed to just being a special teamer, that he could see action all over the field because
that was tongue in cheek.
Yeah, but there is
how to use his weapons.
Right, but there is a potential that could happen. So we may see him on the field a little bit more than just being a punt returner.
Apparently, Chandler, one of your old guys, Ted Ginn Jr., got in some trouble not fielding punts on Monday Night Football. They want to change there, and Dwayne has been a fantastic special teamer. In fact, we were trying to think of the last Pirate to go to the Pro Bowl, and I think you said after the show off the air, Dwayne made it as a special teamer. He was an alternate, so played it. So they get a Pro Bowl special teamer in Dwayne Harris, and glad 17 is back for NFL team.
Yeah, still keeping an eye on Justin Hardy. He's still a free agent. He has worked out for several teams. He worked out most recently for the 49ers and a couple other teams, but nothing as of yet. But that's not completely out of the realm of possibility considering injuries and COVID-related cases. So there may be some opportunities for him down the road.
Speaking of COVID, Shirley, more football games being postponed.
Yep.
I think yesterday you had Marshall FIU. Is that right?
That's been postponed.
What are the new ones?
Wisconsin and Nebraska, that one has officially not been postponed. It's been canceled altogether. They're not going to remake that game. They reschedule the game.
The Big Ten schedule is so compacted because they got in so late. They don't have any room to make up games.
Correct. And Wisconsin had a COVID outbreak, and I believe even their head coach tested positive. They had multiple athletes within the football program, and some of the staff members test positive. And they just could not have field enough players to be able to play the game this weekend. So not only has the game been canceled, but Wisconsin has shut down the football program for at least a week while they try to get a handle on the cases within their football program.
Their quarterback, the freshman, is Graham Mertz, I think his name is. He was awesome on Friday night and got Wisconsin fans really fired up. We found out on Saturday he had tested positive for COVID, and I think they had a quarterback that's already out for the year with an injury, and then Mertz, the starter, and the third stringer, I believe, tested positive and were going to be out. And they were down to like one quarterback, and I guess it spread. The head coach you mentioned, so no football there. Any other postponements?
I think the North Texas game has been postponed, but don't quote me on that. I heard Jeff mention that this morning, but I didn't double check.
Okay.
But I believe that the North Texas game that was scheduled for this weekend has also been postponed. You may want to check on that because I can't remember who they're playing.
Here's a college football headline, Shirley. 3 Miami of Ohio players suspended for frat fight.
Oh. Well, please expand on that.
A fight at a fraternity house in early October. Let's see. You got freshman DB who was charged with trespass, a freshman tight end charged with assault and criminal trespass, and a freshman wide receiver charged with 2 counts of assault, 2 counts of trespass, 2 counts of disorderly conduct. So I guess they crashed a frat party, and things went south there. By the way, Miami of Ohio, you're like, well, they're not even playing. Next Wednesday, every MAC team is scheduled to play. So it's going to be like football MAC-palooza next Wednesday. There's going to be a ton of games. It's going to be awesome.
I was going to say, you like those midweek games.
Yeah.
There is one additional NFL story, and that is Adam Schefter tweeted out probably, I'd say about an hour ago or so. He tweeted out that they have announced that the Super Bowl that is scheduled to be, Tampa is supposed to be the host for this coming up year, 2021. They are going to allow a 20% capacity at the Super Bowl, and basically what they're going to do is they're going to put you're going to be seated in pods, and you'll have to wear a mask, but they will allow fans at the Super Bowl. So that means, the Super Bowl, depending on who the teams are, the ticket is pretty high in demand to start with. Now, if you have a 20% capacity, it's going to be interesting to see how much those tickets will increase in cost, and if you got one, yeah, it'll be, especially depending on who the teams are that are going to be participating as well.
And what if it is the first time ever a stadium hosts their home team in the Super Bowl? Could be Brady and the Bucks. Doesn't look like it's going to be that dream Brady versus Cam matchup, Chandler, after Cam's performance on Sunday.
I mean, if you had to put some money down on it, who would you pick as to be your Super Bowl?
That's a great question, Shirley. I don't want to take the Packers. Nobody from the East. North, you got with the Bears and it's got to be a team from the West. So I would take Seattle's defense isn't good enough. Niners, Rams. Give me Brady and the Bucks versus Mahomes, Baltimore, Bills. Give me Brady versus Mahomes.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see which teams finally do make it to the Super Bowl.
What do you think, Chandler?
The last time this team won was in Raymond James Stadium. The Steelers.
Last undefeated team. Big Ben back. One more.
How long can that last, though, is the question.
That'd be some old QBs facing off if that was the matchup.
That's the geriatric hole.
Let's see. They got the Ravens this week, right? And where is that game?
I don't know. I hadn't even had a chance to even. I've been
Steelers
so busy.
at Ravens, and the Baltimore is a favorite. I think their undefeated streak ends this Sunday in Baltimore.
I could say at least one team will be in the Super Bowl. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to at least be in the Super Bowl. Who they're going to play, I don't know. I can tell you who it's not going to be, and that's the Miami Dolphins. But other than that,
because that would be impossible because they're both in the AFC.
I know, but I'm just saying the Dolphins are never going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Washington will make the playoffs and have a home playoff game, so that'll be exciting.
Well,
all right,
see how long that lasts.
And let me do one final check here before we take a timeout. What is our NASCAR update? At last check,
I thought it was supposed to be at 3. They would restart at 3.
So again, the race started Sunday. They got a few laps in. They've been trying to get it going since then. NASCAR expects to push cars to the grid at 4:30 and hopes engines to fire at 5 o'clock. We shall see. I got to see it to believe it. but they are still trying to get that race in so then they can head to Martinsville on Sunday, and that'll be the final race before the final race in Phoenix. All right, let's take a timeout, Shirley, because we got to call Bruce Howard. He's the play-by-play voice of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. We'll get a Golden Hurricane scouting report for you when we return on Pirate Radio Live here on a Wednesday. Back with you after this.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Representative John Bell, the Majority Leader of the North Carolina House, and it has been an honor serving the people of Eastern North Carolina the last 8 years. I've had the privilege of working with your local representatives, Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey, as they delivered hundreds of millions of dollars in COVID relief funding to our small businesses, healthcare providers, and families right here in Pitt County. Unfortunately, their opponents are funded by radical liberal out-of-state donors that want to destroy our agriculture heritage, defund the police, and silence your voice by buying this election. This is not North Carolina. We cannot and will not let this happen. Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey are focused on solutions, not revolutions. They will make sure your voice is heard and represent our Eastern North Carolina values. So Pirate Nation, the choice is clear. On November 3rd, please support and vote for Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey for the North Carolina House. Strong voices for Eastern North Carolina. Paid for by the John Bell Committee.
Hey y'all, it's Lisa with Halloween Express, Greenville's Halloween superstore for 22 years. It's been a crazy year, but Halloween is not canceled. We have everything you need to make this Halloween one to remember. And did someone say mask? Yeah, we have the largest selection of masks in Greenville, plus every other costume you can think of. Come visit our new location in the Target Shopping Center in Greenville. Halloween Express, what are you going to be?
Banking is banking until service is not the same. This is Eric Clark from Select Bank and Trust, and this year has been unusual, but we have continued to focus on what has always been important to us, our customers. When businesses needed access to the Paycheck Protection Program, our team of local bankers worked around the clock to successfully keep our customers open and their employees working. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? We are Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
You don't need a big meeting. You don't need a birthday. You don't need any excuse at all. You just need to love subs. Times 12. Order the Jersey Mike's catering box today. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
It's Jersey Mike's time. One Club Supreme? Check. What's Aaron's Way? Only $2.99 for Pepsi and Lay's? I'm in. Order your sub Aaron's Way on the Jersey Mike's app or visit a Jersey Mike's store.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports-watching drink of all time, Pepsi. Designed to power even the most passionate of armchair quarterbacks, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong, keep you in the zone, and recover from those triumphant wins.
Before I was just your average football fan, but thanks to Pepsi, I'm a football-watching MVP. Nothing can stop me from cheering my team on to victory or overreacting when makes a bad call. What do you mean he wasn't in? That looks like 2 feet to me.
With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi is the premier football-watching beverage.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet or wiped buffalo sauce on my new couch. But thanks to Pepsi, I'm so in the zone, even Mike can't ruin my football party. See? Don't even care.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Now is the perfect time for a review of your home, auto, and life insurance with a trusted and experienced agent. Call ECU grad Brandon Manning with Farm Bureau Insurance at 531-1812. Brandon's clients always have his cell phone number and is available before or after business hours. Call Brandon today at 531-1812 to schedule a review and get a free quote. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Broad.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. We will be here with you coming up Friday, 5 o'clock on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, getting you ready for the 9 o'clock Eastern kickoff between Tulsa and ECU. It'll be a late night, early morning edition of the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show following that game. Here to get you ready for it, we'll talk to the play-by-play voice of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. He is Bruce Howard, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Bruce, welcome back to Pirate Radio. How you doing today?
Not too bad, Clip. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for your time, as always, Bruce. And my first question, something we've been talking about all week and trying to put our finger on it. When did Tulsa get so good, Bruce? And we look back at last year there, you could see the improvements, I think. The wins just weren't there. The 3 overtime game against SMU in a loss. They held Cincinnati to 24 points in a loss, lost to Memphis. But then that win over UCF and really what they did to ECU to close out last year, did you kind of know that it was going in the right direction then, Bruce? And are you surprised at all at how well they have played here to start 2020?
Well, it was a situation where, as you mentioned, at the end of the year, Tulsa went to ECU and won that game to finish out their regular season at 4-8. But they were so close to being, a bowl team. A couple of field goal kicks, and they're probably 6-6 and probably going bowling. So they were that close to being a pretty darn good team. And now this year, and we've all gone through this with the COVID. There have been spits and starts and delays and that sort of thing, but played very well against Oklahoma State. And then obviously, as you mentioned, one at UCF and one at South Florida. I guess TU has kind of won the Florida championship, and ECU has won half of it as well with their win against South Florida. But at any rate, they have played very well, and the offense kind of struggled a little bit early. Oklahoma State has a really good defense, but then they got it going about halfway through the UCF game, and that coupled with a defense that continues to get better and is really good, has helped Tulsa get off to this decent start. Now, again, they've only played 3 games, and they're 2-1 and certainly looking good, but East Carolina will bring a challenge certainly on Friday.
First home game for Tulsa. That is weird to say as we sit here almost in November, but everything is weird, I guess, in 2020, Bruce. So are you? Have you been traveling with the team, or have you been staying at home and calling these games this year so far?
No, we've been traveling with the team. Of course, going to Stillwater for Oklahoma State is an easy drive, and then the other 2 trips we've been able to make it on the flight with the team. So we've been fortunate in that regard. So really, obviously, understand anybody that doesn't go is especially if they want to make that personal decision to broadcast off of a screen, that's fine as well. But if we can get there, we try to, and so far so good. Although, as you know, with this COVID situation, things can certainly change, in a hurry. So this starting date, by the way, for Tulsa, this home game is the latest starting home game since 1918.
Wow.
So October 30th, and you go back to 1918, and I started looking up in the archives, and the athletic director had a note out to the fans that said basically, hey, we played 3 games. And we had our first home game on November 23rd against, believe it or not, Oklahoma State. And the obvious reason would be World War I, but the other obvious reason was the pandemic.
Wow.
There was the Spanish flu going on at that time, so that delayed things. So 102 years later, we have kind of the same situation.
History repeats itself. That's kind of eerie. Yep. Talking to Bruce Howard here today on Pirate Radio Live. Bruce, I saw an article in the Tulsa World, and by the way, we'll talk to Kelly Hines coming up in the 5 o'clock hour of today's show, talk more Tulsa football. But I believe I read, Bruce, that Tulsa was allowed around 4,000 fans. That was from September. Is that still accurate for Friday's game?
I think so, something around that, and I do know that there was a lot of excitement about the Cincinnati game, because that came a week after the UCF game, and it would have been the 3rd straight ranked team that Tulsa would have played. And really the team was really fired up to play that game. I mean, that one should have and could have been a very good game. Now it's back to December 5th. Got rescheduled for December 5th, and then Tulsa, had a week off before going down to Tampa. So yes, I believe that should be the situation, and you know how it is with home crowds. It kind of depends on what state you're in, and certainly the university makes those decisions, and they do it for the welfare and the well-being, certainly, of the fans and the staff, and obviously the student athletes.
Bruce Howard joining us. Bruce, we're going to start with defense, looking at this team, because I watched that Oklahoma State game, and Oklahoma State could not move the football at all against Tulsa's defense. Then you hold UCF to under 30 points, which is a major accomplishment in that victory in Orlando. And then South Florida couldn't get anything going last week, 42-13, that final. I talked to Donnie Kirkpatrick yesterday, ECU offensive coordinator, and we were kind of joking about how we kind of missed the days of everybody just throwing up 40 points, and you didn't have to worry much about defense. Tulsa is playing some defense this year, Bruce, and you got to be really happy to call that action each and every Saturday.
Yeah, they are playing very well, and it's the third full year in the system for Joe Gillespie, the defensive coordinator. So that always makes a difference when the guys kind of get a good understanding. And and what's really been impressive is Tulsa's depth. They lost one of their better linebackers, Trayvon Reeves, to a very questionable targeting call last week, but guys stepped up and played well. So I think the impressive thing about it is it's not only the ones playing well, and anymore on the defensive line, almost every team is rolling 6-8 guys anyway. But not only are the ones playing well on the defensive side, but so far, and Tulsa had 2 missing from the secondary last week. So far, those backups have come in, and they really haven't skipped a beat. So that's really important for Tulsa's defense, and I think in this day and age, it's always the case when you have injury situations that occur, but now with COVID as well, it's important to be deep, and it appears Tulsa is exactly that.
And Bruce, offensively, one thing that really sticks out to me with this team, you got 3 rushers that have eclipsed 100 yards, and Prince 232 yards through 3 games, and then receiving-wise, you got 3 receivers over 150 yards, and talking to defensive coordinator Blake Harrell yesterday, one thing that concerns him is that, there are key guys you can take away, but Tulsa can do it on the ground, through the air. They seem to be a very balanced offense this year.
Yeah, they are, and last week's numbers were perfect in that regard, 220-something, odd yards in rushing and 230 in passing, or something very close to that. And they spread it around. It's not like, you're sitting there looking at the Tulsa offense, and going, oh, Keelan Stokes is the receiver you have to, clamp down on because he has 24 catches at this point, or, he's averaging 10 catches a game, and so we better concentrate on number 2. No, I mean, you got like last week, Tulsa had 3 or 4 guys with 4 catches each, and another with 2, and another with 1 and a touchdown, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's the sort of balance and, ability to spread the ball around a little bit to your skilled players, which I think is important for the Tulsa offense. And Zach Smith, the quarterback, is the distributor of that, if you will, and he's the guy that has been able to look for different guys and that sort of thing. And I think you kind of get that with the senior quarterback. He's got his favorites, I'm sure. He's got guys that he looks for in crucial situations, but so far, Zach Smith has really spread it around very nicely.
Bruce, there is no high school football, public schools anyway, being played in the state of North Carolina, so we're missing out on the Friday night lights. Tulsa going back-to-back Friday here, and as Jeff Charles always says, the TV dictates everything, and you get your schedule and you just go show up and call the game. Have you gotten used to these Friday night games, Bruce? They're 2 in a row here for you.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not only the Friday night, but here in Oklahoma, they are playing high school football. So you do have that, I don't want to say conflict, but you do have that situation. Mm-hmm. And then just most recently, a few days ago, Tulsa's November 21st Saturday football game against Tulane got moved back to Thursday. So that's your real short week. Now, it's not as short as an NFL week when they play on a Sunday and then play on a Thursday, but it is going to be a short week for Tulsa after an SMU game, which is probably going to be a physical game on a Saturday. They'll have to play host to Tulane on a Thursday. And I will say this, when you have a short week, and Tulsa honestly didn't have a short week this week because it was Friday to Friday. But when you have a short week, it's even harder on the road team because you got to take another day out for travel, and that day is pretty much devoted to kind of packing up and in this day and age testing, before you get on the bus, and then the bus to the plane, and the plane to the site, and that's an entire day. So for those that have to travel on a short week, it's even worse.
And finally, Bruce, it's still early, but with this condensed schedule, it's going by a lot quicker than a normal season. Tulsa's only played 3 games to this point, 2-0 in conference play. You kind of look around. UCF already has 2 losses, and one of those 2, Tulsa. Cincinnati's looking solid. You don't know what Houston has quite yet because they've only played 3 games. But are you kind of looking around the AAC and seeing where you stand? And are the folks around there thinking that this could be a special year for the Golden Hurricane in that regard?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Obviously the coaching staff, they're always, next hour, next game, next, whatever. But when you look at the upcoming schedule, Tulsa will be favored, was favored in the USF game, and will be favored in the game, obviously, on Friday. I don't know if Tulsa will be favored at Navy. That will be a tough game after ECU. But you got a chance to get a little bit of a run going, and then SMU comes to Tulsa on November 14th, and that one could be a real dogfight, could be a really, really important game in the context of the season. So, I mean, there's some excitement that's building. But if you know Coach Montgomery, you know that he's just hey, we're just worried about getting to practice today and worried about the game on Friday and then see where the chips fall.
Yep, spoken like a true head coach there. Bruce, thanks so much for your time. As always, have a great call on Friday, and I will talk to you again down the road.
All right, always a pleasure, Clip. Appreciate it, and say hello to all the great folks in Greenville.
Yes, sir, will do. Thank you, Bruce. There's Bruce Howard, play-by-play voice of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. We've had a lot of talks with Bruce over the years, and, man, this is about the best Tulsa team we've seen in a long, long time. Speaking of that, we'll put together a few interviews, and you'll hear it Friday before the Bud Light pregame tailgate with Travis Simmons, the hero, one of the heroes, from ECU's Conference USA Championship victory over Tulsa. Also comments from Rick Smith, longtime Pirate fan Tommy Elder, who went to every game that year, and he had some fun stories to share about that game and after the game, and kind of walking around and finding himself in the locker room. So we'll hear from those guys and more. Kind of a look back at that Conference USA Championship win over Tulsa. Man, they were high-flying that year on offense, and the Pirates were able to shut them down in that game. This year, I don't know, their defense might be better than their offense, but they're a well-rounded team, and the Pirates are going to have their A game coming up Friday night if they want to pull off what will be an upset. At last check, it was 17.5, the spread in this game, and I'll check it one more time before we take a timeout. I have not looked today to see the spread of that game, but at last check, the total was around 59, 60 points, and Tulsa was a 17.5-point favorite. And I have stalled enough to find out that it is now 17-point spread. The total has gone up 61, the total for ECU and Tulsa. No Wager McGee this week. He had to back out on me. We'll talk to the big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, coming up on Thursday, and he likes Tulsa in this game. We'll text Wager and find out what he likes in this Tulsa ECU game and get that to you. All right, let's take a timeout. We will come back, check in with Brian Meador. The range of sports emotions. His NFL team could not have played worse on Sunday. His MLB team wins a World Series last night. We'll talk to Meador about that and what's going on with ECU Athletics when we return on Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
You've seen it on TV, and now you can experience it for yourself. Introducing the Warrior Zone, Greenville's first and ever only Ninja Warrior training facility. This is John from the Warrior Zone, where community, fun, and fitness collide. We offer weekly ninja training classes, memberships, one-on-one coaching, competition teams, and open gym. Not a ninja? No problem. We work with everyone and want people to feel encouraged when they leave Warrior Zone. Make your life better with Ninja Fun at the Warrior Zone. Old Tall Road, next to Plant and Sea at warriorzone.ninja.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are 2 things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
Do you think you or your employees might have been exposed to COVID-19? ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy employer solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent for your termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs of Greenville. Right now, for a special time, Sparky Snowballs is open every day from noon to 8 in the Food Truck Rodeo on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Stop by for a delicious icy treat. Plus, did you know Sparky's also has funnel cakes and fried Oreos too? Support your local Food Truck Rodeo every day from noon to 8 on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Sparky Snowballs, serving delicious icy treats to smiling faces for over 20 years. Visit Sparky's on Facebook or SparkySnowballs.com.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. The best investment you can make is in yourself. Get educated and make prudent decisions about your financial future. Contact David Dom at Carolina Wealth Management today at 439-1344 for a free consultation. And Clip, as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, was just looking at the Twitter feed, and Major League Baseball has announced that they have opened an investigation into Justin Turner, the Dodgers third baseman, who essentially tested positive, was pulled from Game 6 because he tested positive for COVID, did not play, and then he returned to the field for the celebration and took a team photo. And so now Major League Baseball says that they have opened an internal investigation into that incident.
What are they investigating?
I don't know. He did it. He had 2 positive tests.
Right. That whole thing was really weird. Like, they pull him in the middle of a game, and I don't know. If that was my team, I would be like, well, what the hell? Why not before the game? What is happening? Between that and Rob Manfred's speech after the game, it was just the very strange ending to the World Series. Like, that was announced, and we'll get Meador on the phone here. He's a Dodgers fan. He can talk about that and the win, but the Turner thing was announced like right after the game, and then you see him out there, and he's with his teammates, and the whole thing was weird.
Yeah, strange. And the Manfred thing really reminded me of like a Robert Kraft-ish type of speech. You remember a few years ago when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, it was blatant that he was just had a little too much fun. But I think the ending of this World Series sums up 2020. You got a COVID positive test. You got Manfred up there. Hopefully nothing health reasons why he was like that. Maybe he
a lot of people were saying it was like the earpiece deal where you can't you hear yourself echoing or something like that. I don't know, maybe Meador can speak to that, because there's times when Brian Bailey has been on the sideline at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium and he was hearing an echo, and it kind of messes you up. But Meador, welcome to the program, buddy. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I hope you guys are. I'm feeling really good today.
Yes, you are. Your Dodgers are world champions. We were just talking about the Rob Manfred thing after the game and like his slurred speech, and some people were saying it's because he couldn't hear himself or could hear himself. And
okay,
yeah, go ahead.
I can speak to that. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember this. The first time when Brian Bailey started doing the sideline stuff, if you remember, one of the first people he interviewed on the sideline was Cliff Godwin, and when he started he told Cliff, "Hey, look, Cliff, you're going to hear yourself." Cliff was so bad, everybody thought he was drunk. I mean, because he's slurring and he's having a hard time because he's getting that reverb. And this is I know Billy Weaver knows, and Bailey, when you're out there doing a live shot, and sometimes that reverb or the mixed minus will come back in your ear a second or two later. You can hear yourself, it messes you up. Well, that's what that scoreboard is, and it's loud. Yeah. And when Bailey's good at it, he understands it. You just focus on the guy talking to you. Everybody was like, "Is Cliff drunk?" Like, no, he's may have been. I'm kidding, Cliff. You're not drunk. Out there listening in Pirate Radio Land, but no, but that was right. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, I don't know, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, the whole thing after the game was weird. We'll talk about Turner in just a moment. But but how about I guess I do feel good. I like Martin. I like the manager there. I like your manager. I like Kershaw.
Can I tell you something? Dave Roberts, his godmother is actually a resident of Greenville. And
oh wow.
Her name's Keiko. She's from Okinawa, and I see her all the time. She hangs out at a lot of local places. Her and her daughter are always up there. Yes, and she's a wonderful woman. Her best friend is Dave Roberts' mother, and they grew up together in Okinawa. And like most of the women in Okinawa that I've ever known to come to the States, they come over because they meet somebody in the military, they marry them, and then come on over. Yeah. And his Dave Roberts' mother was the same, and so was this wonderful lady, Keiko was her name, like I said. And so I was sitting up at Rucker Johns, R.I.P. Rucker Johns, one night, and she was sitting next to me, and there was a Dodger game on, and I started bitching about him because it was easy to do that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And she said, "That's my godson." She a little bit broken English. She said, "That's my godson, right?" And I was like, "What?" And I started talking to her, and we became friends. And she's a wonderful lady.
That's
anyway,
awesome.
So there's a little side story for you.
I think I like him too, and of course I'm a Braves fan, but I was never more like invested into a non-Braves baseball team than that 04 Red Sox. They come back against the Yankees. I just thought it was an awesome story. And
Dave Roberts steals the base and all that. And
it was great. So I like him. And Kershaw seems like a great dude, right? And he's got so much regular season success. Meador, I hate to say it, I was kind of happy for him too. So why did you hate to say that? I don't know. Man? I don't like the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers.
The name of my fantasy baseball team is Shawshank Redemption, because by God, he's going to get his redemption one day, and he did. He finally got it. He didn't do it pitching poorly. He did it pitching well, and he was outstanding in this series. He was outstanding in the postseason.
Yeah, and the Dodgers against the Braves made so many plays defensively. And then at times it looked like a Little League game in the World Series with all the hijinks going on in the field and everything. And so I thought that was quite comical, but they definitely earned it. And I don't know if anybody can earn that contract that Mookie Betts has, but he played
the lifetime deal.
Yeah, but you got a winner with him too, it appears.
Yeah, and then he's that guy that goes to the next level and every aspect of everything that he does on the field. And and he seems like, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Mookie as far as his personal stuff, but all of his teammates love the guy. And, if you got a guy like that on your team, it just changes the dynamic. I would love, there is nobody like that on my Dallas Cowboys. I can promise you that. That team's a mess. A guy like Mookie, and then, Seager, he's a quiet leader.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a ball player, and he goes out and gets his job done. I haven't figured Bellinger out yet. I don't know that I ever will. But a lot of the other stars, like your Justin Turners of the world, those guys had to work hard just to get jobs. Turner was a cast off by the Mets, for crying out loud, and before he was COVID spreader of the year. But no, I mean, Mookie's he's a great guy, and they love him. And the Red Sox would part with him. Was really astounding when you look at it, to see that this guy is going to be a great player for them.
Yeah.
For
I didn't get it.
Maybe not 12 years, but for a long time.
Yeah. I thought I had a pretty good line. You didn't respond to it. It was
what was it?
The end of our text chain last night, where I said if the Dodgers score 3 like the Cowboys did, they might win it. And guess what? They win 3-1.
So you're making what you call jokes, what I call reality. Because I'm living it, bro. If we get 3 against the Eagles, I'm gonna feel good about that.
Well, yeah, well, your Dodgers only needed 3 and got the win last night. We were talking about Turner after the game, and that's the whole thing. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to get into this, but what do you do in that case, Meador? Do you go out and celebrate with your teammates? First of all, he gets ripped from the game, middle of the game. That is so strange that it happened the way it did. The whole thing was weird.
Well, it was weird because there are a lot of moving parts to this thing. One, when was the test done? Why did it take so long to get the results back?
Yeah.
You get the results back. Then you have to make a decision. Okay, here we are. We're at the end of this game, boys. We're going to go yank him. We're going to pull him out of the game. And, all right, he's already been hugging and celebrating the entire time.
Right.
I think 2 things. One, he should have gone back out there, but I don't care that he did, because he's already swapped sweat and everything else with those guys, and at least he had his mask on. Short of putting him in a hazmat suit, I don't know that everybody would have been okay with it, but at that point, he's taking BP all day with these guys. He's eating with these guys. They were in their little mini bubble in Arlington, and you're going to lose your mind over him coming back out to celebrate and call him a knucklehead. I don't know, man. He's already done it. He's probably already spread it. Everybody's going to spread it too, maybe. I don't know, man. I hate that that's what we're talking about. Cause,
I know.
I was 17 in 1988, and that was an awesome thing. And I thought that's how easy it is to get a World Series, and it's been cheated out of 2, and now to finally have to be able to say, hey, my Dodgers got one is pretty awesome. I don't care if it is a COVID year.
No, I'm right there with you. I guess I was 13 going on 14 when the Braves won, and I thought this is one of 7 or 8, and still waiting on number 2 right now, Meador. So I feel you in that regard. I saw my favorite tweet last night was from I guess he's retired now, former MLB pitcher Brandon McCarthy, who said, and man, I love conspiracy theories. He said that MLB made Cash pull Snell out of the game so they wouldn't have to worry about this COVID stuff in a Game 7 tonight and what they would do. So they wanted to go ahead and get the game over with last night, so they made the Rays pull out Blake Snell. And I'm running I'm running with that theory. I love it. I love it, Meador.
Garbage. It's easy to say that someone, a certain manager lost his mind. I can't for the life of me understand why he did that. And a buddy of mine's a Rays fan, and the first thing he looked at me and said, hey, man, just want to say congratulations. But come on, man. I was like, hey, man, look, I've been a part of, a couple of World Series where even though we were cheated, Dave Roberts did things that were like, huh? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
And, I think that I don't know what metrics tells you that a guy who's been dominating LA all night is the way to go. I'd really love for him to break down the numbers for me. What are you looking at that makes you think taking this guy out of the game right now is the play? And but thank you.
Made no sense at all. Brian Meador joining us. Meador, I talked to Malcolm Gray about this, who is involved with football, media relations, and also baseball, and asked him, does he feel more apart from the team, the football team, than every other year he's worked here? And you're around Mike Houston with the Coaches Show and your duties there. How about the team itself, Meador? Does it feel like a strange year? You're kind of away from the guys. Like Malcolm was saying, he knows the names and the faces, but he's never really interacted with these freshmen. How about you this year with the team?
Man, I feel like I know Holton, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. It's been the strangest year. Even the assistants. They don't tell us we can't go over to that building, but the less you're over there or involved in any of that, the less chance you get mixed up in any kind of contact tracing or whatever.
And you don't want to be the one, right, to have five players missing a game. Exactly. Yeah.
No, not at all. So is there responsibility there? Yeah, but at the same time, you miss them. I mean, I love knowing those guys, man. That's my favorite time of the year. My favorite time of the year is football, because I get to know these guys. Some of my good friends over the years, Kevin Miller comes to mind. All these guys that I know who played football all these years, and I became Shane Carnes, another that I've kept in touch with.
Yeah,
are guys that I got to know, and I don't get to know these guys, and it really sucks. I mean, I enjoy meeting the guys. Malcolm, when we go on the road, that's where you get to know the guys, because you're away from here and you're there, or at practice. I don't go out to practice anymore, so. That's the places where you get to know them, and like you do.
Yeah.
After practices, you're out. As well as anybody. You're out there getting bit by mosquitoes in the spring, and
one of my favorite days of the year, Meador, is media day, and everybody's at their tables, and you actually get to talk to them like people instead of football playing robots. And we missed out on that. So
you're 100% right. And you're in front of them, and they see you, and they're responding to you, and not necessarily 8 other guys who might be around you with cameras and microphones shoved in their faces. So the media day was always a great day to joke around and get to know the guys on a personal level, because outside of I don't know of anybody who knows these guys before they when they come through. Now local ones, yeah, sure, like CJ and Colton, whatever, but some of these kids who are out of state and out of our region, I don't meet them until I actually talk to them. And Rajay, as you so had so much fun with, I still have yet to talk to that kid.
Right. Yeah. I think Malcolm even brought him up by name. Yeah. That he's the one that kind of stands out. You don't even really know the guy right now. So
don't know him. I got to tell you, man, until I saw the first Zoom that he did, I didn't know what he looked like.
Right. and having said all that, you can still kind of feel the thing going in the right direction, though, right? And
no question.
And the dark cloud that was there a few years ago that you kind of hinted at is gone.
Nope. No, it is, man. Look, I don't. You know me, man. I would say nothing before I would say something negative about the guys who are currently here, because it's not fair. I'm a big Mike Houston fan, and is he perfect? No, but who is? But I can tell you this: he's going to work hard. He's going to evaluate, and if you're not getting the job done as an assistant coach, you're not going to be here. If you're not getting the job as a player, you're not going to play. And when he gets, I really do believe, we're still 2 years away from being the kind of football team I think he wants it to be. But when he gets there, I believe in him. And if I'm wrong, then this is the biggest miss I've ever had, because I've been right on the last few. So I'm just saying, I think this guy, especially the last one. Anyway, this guy is on point in everything that he does, and I enjoy doing the show. Monday's the only time I get a chance to have any interaction with anybody from over there.
Yeah.
And that's when we shoot the show on Mondays, and he comes over and hangs out with Brian Bailey and me for 30 minutes, and we just talk. We talk about players, we talk about staff, we talk about all that stuff, and I'm on board, man, and I hope I'm right.
Yeah, and now you got to end to the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback, right? The James Madison dude.
That's what's funny is he talked to him that Monday morning. When we shot the show the other day, he said, "Yeah, I talked to him this morning." I said, "How did it feel? Running for your life?" Because he better savor the flavor, because Andy ain't coming back next week. Mike's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
And we always talk about the Cowboys on Monday, and he rarely ever pays attention to them because they work on Sundays, evaluate film and all that. But I was talking to him, and I said, I got to tell you, man, the worst part. I know other people have said it too, but right when it happened, I called Bailey and I said, man, the worst part of Andy Dalton getting decapitated just then is not one Dallas Cowboy not one Cowboy got up and was offended by what had just happened.
Yeah.
And got in that dude's face. It didn't happen. And
I'm glad I wasn't watching the game with you. You would have fought me. Like, that's how much.
I would have hit you on principle.
Right, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
You would have beat my ass, and you'd have gotten your meal, but I'm gonna get my sandwich. I promise you.
Shirley, real quick, I'm sorry to spring this on you. Can you look at the pregame tailgate folder and pull it? Now, usually I interview Donnie midweek, and we air it on game day. But I want to play the beginning of the Donnie interview that I recorded last night, just while Meador's here, because we did talk a little NFL. Just play the beginning, Shirley. Here we go. All right, Shirley's pulling it up right here, because we had to talk about, here we go. All right, let's head out to the Fixed NC Live line, talk to the offensive coordinator of the East Carolina Pirates. Donnie Kirkpatrick joins us here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys today?
Doing great. We got you on to talk about Washington's 25-3 win over the Cowboys on Sunday.
Couldn't be better. And we'll say that when Coach Houston will hear us, so that just we'll rub that in on him a little bit.
Interesting deal, though. You did you coached the Cowboys quarterback that came in, right?
Yeah, I really was conflicted just a little bit there when I heard that Ben was in, and I was so excited for him, and then heard he'd completed first pass and the whole bit. So I was pulling hard for Ben, but I was still pulling for him to lose. I just wanted him to play really, really well.
There's Donnie Meador, and
I don't believe a word of that. He was hoping for a pick six. I know that guy. He hopes Ben Leonardo da Vinci, whatever his last. He's hoping he's going to be a great player and all that. But no, Donnie's a Redskin guy.
Hey man, I get it too. Like, and obviously I never coached
fantasy.
Dwayne Harris.
You're about to bring up fantasy, aren't you?
No, I'm bringing up Dwayne, and I was he's my favorite ECU player of all time. But I think he had a punt return for Dallas for a touchdown against Washington. So
he sure did. Yes, he did.
I was pulling against him to fumble every play in the NFL. So I get it.
I'm going to tell a Brian Bailey story here, and he's going to lie and say it's not true, but it is true. He had Randy Moss. And Randy Moss, I was over at his house watching. I think it was the first time Moss played against the Cowboys. Maybe it was a rookie.
Oh, was that Thanksgiving when Moss went nuts?
That was yes. And it's a funny story because he and I think we were bachelors at that time, and we were eating turkey and eating Lay's potato chips together. It was pretty funny. But I got to go back and look at the years. I can't really remember. But watching that game with him, when Randy went off, he caught this long touchdown, and Bailey went hot dang. And I said, what?
Wow.
He denies it, but I swear on my life that happened. He sold out for a fantasy touchdown.
Bailey, I thought you were better than that.
I to it, and all joking aside, Brian Bailey is the biggest and the most loyal Dallas Cowboys fan out of it.
I know. Every year we preview it.
Team.
He's got them either 8. He's got them in the playoffs at 8-8. You've got them at a sorry 8-8. Like he's optimistic 8-8. You're pessimistic 8-8 every year.
No. He's usually 12-4. He doesn't. But 8-8 this year win that division by 3 games. What are you talking about?
That is true. Washington's magic number is down to 5 or 4 right now. So
that's awesome.
Meador, always enjoy it. Are you going to be on our special edition of the Press Box coming up?
I will be there.
Awesome.
Tomorrow, is it tomorrow?
Yes, recording tomorrow. Will air on Friday here on Pirate Radio. So looking forward to that.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it, man.
Always a pleasure, brother. Keep doing your thing, man.
All right, there's Brian Meador, one of the best to talk to. His Dodgers are champions. His Cowboys are about as far away from a championship as you can get. All right, we will wrap up hour 1, get you set for hour 2. Got the voice of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, Morgan Ahlers, joining us here on the program. Brian North will be a part of hour 2 as well, and we'll hear more from Donnie Kirkpatrick and from Blake Harrell as well. It's all ahead on Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this. Chico's Mexican Restaurant is where the fiesta never ends. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Wednesday for shrimp tacos for only $9.99. Plus Wednesdays means all Mexican imports for only $2.50. Thursdays, enjoy your favorite beef, chicken, or vegetable fajitas for only $9.99. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Temperatures are in the low 30s at 10 a.m., increasing sharply to 75 degrees by 1 p.m., and then dropping into the teens by 10 p.m. So before you go to work, put on some gloves, pack some shorts, and a parka. That should cover you for the day.
Your heating and cooling is taking a beating. Guarantee your family's comfort all fall and winter with a new Train system. It's hard to stop a train. For a limited time, get a new Train system with 0% financing for 60 months. Go to DelcorInc.com for more information. Delcor, the service professionals. See your independent Train dealer for details. Call 1-888-534-6898 for details.
Can't make it to the game? Relax. Bostic Sugg Furniture can provide you with the best seats in the house. We have the area's largest selection of Lazy Boy motion furniture in stock and ready to go. Lazy Boy recliners, reclining sofas, love seats, and reclining sectionals in hundreds of colors, styles, fabrics, and leather, all at a very comfortable price. Remember, when it comes to Lazy Boy motion furniture, we're your ticket to the best seats in the house. Bostic Sugg Furniture in Greenville.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity, next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
Let us help you get back to business. This is Donald Stocks and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina. We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that, plus custom social distancing signage. Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all. We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. For Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
It's bow time. You've heard folks say, don't call it a comeback. But the Pork Chop Griller is back at Bojangles, and we don't like to beat around the bush. Because we're talking about a huge, hefty pork chop in all its tender, marinated chili lime glory, served up proud in a fluffy buttermilk biscuit. So we say go ahead, call it a comeback. Pork Chop Grillers are back, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Select Bank and Trust. Banking is banking until the service is not the same. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? Try Select Bank and Trust. Bank local. Bank select. SelectBank.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Villa Verde on 10th Street and Villa Verde Dos by the hospital are open for you, serving unique and healthy dishes from the Dominican Republic. Order online at myvillaverde.com or the Villa Verde app. Order a family meal that feeds 6 to 7 people, and they will have it ready for curbside pickup today. Whether it's dine-in or takeout, Villa Verde is a platform for good. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
Like some Weezer on a Wednesday.
See, it messes me up because I turn his mic on right when I'm doing the tail end of my little live read, and he starts singing, and it messes me up. Throwing my rhythm off
Morgan,
here.
you're probably not a Weezer guy.
It could be a total goat rodeo.
You're a Wheezy guy.
All right, Morgan Ahlers is in the house today. Hello, Morgan.
Hello, Clip.
Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Good to see you. Morgan, interesting football viewing for you for the last ECU game, I guess, with no Holton Ahlers on the field. It was interesting, too, and then, it had to be frustrating and all that, but seeing a picture, like Holton putting up a picture on Instagram of him watching the game on TV, I mean, he had to be about ready to run through the wall.
I can't imagine. Absolutely miserable.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And he was texting me a little bit during the first quarter, and he was not happy.
Yeah.
And then he sent, I don't know if it was Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, whatever it was.
You named them all.
Yeah, do they even have MySpace anymore?
I don't believe so.
I think we ought to bring that back. I think that's the new cool thing.
Okay.
That and waterbeds. But that's another story for another day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened to waterbeds?
I don't know. They need to come back.
Yeah.
Your generation was born and bred in waterbeds.
All right, that's...
I'm telling you. No,
that was a huge thing when I was like a kid.
When I was in school, I had one, for a long time.
Wow, they really did disappear.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they did. I've told David Hill that from Factory Mattress for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Bring it back?
He's got like 4 of them in his warehouse and has for like 15 years.
All right, anyway, what were we talking about? Waterbeds?
Holton. Yeah, Holton. He says, so he can get retested? Talking about Nick Saban.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's over with and done with.
It is. And it was. I talked to Donnie Kirkpatrick yesterday and was talking about Mason Garcia and how he's going to grow and improve and get better. And he even Donnie brought up the fact that Holton was trying to compare it to his first playing time. I think they were talking about it and like advice to give Mason. And Holton was like, well, I was an early enrollee, and before my first start, I got to play a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like Garcia came in late, did not get a full off season, didn't know he was going to start until last Tuesday.
They notified of the positive on Tuesday.
So according to Donnie, Holton was like, I had it even easier than Mason's going to have it here on Saturday. It's going to be, and I thought with his legs, Morgan, we saw what kind of quarterback Garcia can be. He'll only get better with his arm. But through one game, he's going to learn. And Donnie also said he's learning how to handle adversity really for the first time as a quarterback.
And it's tough. I mean, and I've had to, as a dad of a quarterback, I've had to keep my mouth shut sometimes. But you're the hero of the GOAT because there's only one of you on the field. You touch the ball just about every offensive play, minus some wildcat or two. And if things go well, boy, it's great. If not, you're the best tight end, and we need to move you.
So, I think Igo pointed out there was a thread, and both Ahlers and Garcia would be better off a tight end.
They would be.
Yeah.
They would be. We don't need a quarterback.
No, who needs a quarterback?
We don't need a quarterback.
Yeah. Just like waterbeds, they're going to disappear. No quarterbacks.
The only thing I'll say to that is if everybody's got their own opinion, and that's all.
Okay.
And you're allowed to have it.
Josh
regardless
says
of how idiotic it is.
Josh says he can still log into his MySpace. That's interesting.
Huh.
So maybe it's still a thing. Josh, do you have a waterbed?
The fact that Josh still remembers his login to MySpace.
That is a miracle because of all the things we got, and luckily now with everything remembers your password. Mm-hmm. But how many times, and I don't know, how many times have you forgot your password, had to create another one? I seem like I do that at least once a week.
Well, I just went to the iPhone. So I had the Samsung, when I had the Note, everything was remembered for years and years and years. Well, they don't switch that over. Mm-mm. So, I had to re-switch everything, sign up for new things, and it was not good.
Morgan, defensively, that was about the best we've seen ECU against Navy in this entire series. And kudos to Blake Harrell and the staff. Now, the bad part is you kind of got to scrap all that and get ready for a completely different offense here in Tulsa. But I do think that the defense has a little momentum going heading into this game.
Yeah, I think offensively, Tulsa's trying to run the same kind of offense, if I'm not mistaken, like USF ran. A little bit of multiple. They like to throw the ball. They're not as high tempo as UCF, but it's not like you're okay. We're running into Army this week and Navy and trying to change complete schemes of what you're doing. So from that standpoint, they'll be there, and hopefully they'll get the guys back that missed some time over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and be back in the lineup and let this defense keep maturing. Let the offensive line keep maturing a little bit as well.
Let's hear Donnie Kirkpatrick talking about Holden Ahlers and his return to practice and his return to the lineup. He was asked, I believe, by Ronnie Woodward. This would be a good question for Morgan Ahlers. How's Holden Ahlers doing mentally after being forced to miss the Navy game? This is cut 4, Shirley.
Well, mentally, he didn't miss a beat. We spoke when he got the positive test, and he went to watching Tulsa film that afternoon. He watched all her practices every day, even though, he wasn't going to play in the Navy game, though there was still a little bit of an outside chance. There was a lot of little things going on that we weren't never 100% sure what was going to happen. Would there be a retest? Would there be something else going on? There were so many rumors. It was hard to concentrate. It made it really a tough week, but he didn't lose anything mentally. I thought when he came out Saturday, the first day back, he really was able to practice. He was a little rusty with his throws. He had reverted back a little bit to dropping his release a little bit from kind of the way he was doing before we got here. Just kind of had to get back into the groove of it like that. I thought physically, we were very careful with him. We didn't, just put him in there every play and just run him to death the first day. The protocol wouldn't let you do that anyhow. But mentally, he's been good, and he was ready for this game plan. He was ahead of me. He was asking me questions, and I was like, I'm still worried about Navy. You get that done for Tulsa, and then we'll get on Tulsa, the next week. So he was pushing us to get to that from the very get-go then. And so we still got a whole week. We don't want to get too far along in the game plan. I think you get stale if you practice it too many times. You just want to start to dabble in it a little bit. We wanted to do some other things. We wanted to do some things in open day just to look at ourselves, self-scout, go back, see what's working, what's not working, see if we needed to change anything, and then start to get into Tulsa a little bit later in the week. He was ready to go Saturday, though. He was bugging the heck out of me, to be honest with you.
All right, there is Donnie Kirkpatrick.
Donnie's never at a loss for words.
No, he will go on and on and on. And he told me that Holden, and he kind of mentioned it there, but Holden was like way ahead of everybody else as far as Tulsa prep goes.
Like nothing else to do for a week. He was at home.
Yeah. So, and he did not waste that week. He was working, and that was good to hear. Holden's got some help, hopefully returning in the form of Deontay Smith. It sounded like Mike Houston's somewhat optimistic that he could be back in the lineup at tackle. That would be a boost for the Pirates. And he's got some help behind him, or alongside of him, I should say, with Rajay Harris, Morgan, who continues to impress running the football.
Yeah, their line has done a really good job. They started the play calling against South Florida. Created a little bit of motion. They started running a little bit of motion, a little bit of jet sweeps. They were doing some things, moving CJ from one side to the other, Blake and Tyler Snead, and the receivers moving around. And I really think that helped the line, because now you don't have the linebackers for your opponent just teeing off on one thing. They know, okay, CJ's on the left side. He's not going anywhere. We can adjust to that. But when you start moving them around, then they're not as comfortable. And this week against Tulsa's got a couple of really good linebackers.
Yeah.
And, so they're going to have to do the same type thing. And I think by creating some misdirection, by freeing up these guys so they can't just dig in and go right at your running back. It's really helped our running game, and Raji's shown that once he gets a step or two, can get through that hole, he can go all the way.
And with it being about very good. Did he say that right, Shirley? Is it Roger?
So it's not Raji, Raja, or Raja. It's Rajay.
Rajay.
Very good, Morgan. Thank you. You get a ding. But with it being a bye week, too, you can add maybe a few new wrinkles, something that Tulsa hadn't seen on film, and hopefully catch them off guard here on Friday.
I hope so, and I think you will. I think it's going to be. I really think it's going to be an exciting football game, because Tulsa's very good.
They are, and they play some darn good defense too. Holding Oklahoma State to 13. They hold UCF under 30, which is a major accomplishment in a win. Mm-hmm. Shut down South Florida, so it'll be a tough test for this Pirates offense coming up on Friday.
Yeah, I think so, but at the same time, their defense might be good, but our offense is pretty good too, and hopefully they'll continue what they did. And the offense against Navy played pretty well. Again, you had Mason who came in, and it's like anything else. If you're a friend, and I remember telling Holton this as a freshman in high school, I said, Bud, last year you were playing at Chicago. Now you're playing here at New Bern. And they ended up winning the state championship. Mike Hughes was their quarterback and safety, and they had like 7 guys go D1.
Yeah,
I said there's a big difference between playing Aiden Grifton, and New Bern.
Yeah,
and I remember him. I said the things will slow down for you as you get older, and they do. And he keeps saying that. He says things are, now I'm looking 3 or 4 reads into it,
right,
versus just 1 and go.
Yeah, so. and I feel like Mason, and look, he had success with his legs, but it felt like at times he would look, if that wasn't there, he'd take off.
That's self-preservation.
Yeah.
Holton did it early this year because he didn't have time to do anything else.
Yeah, so, all right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk more Pirate football and more with Brian North, WCTI 12. He will join us here on Pirate Radio Live. We are back with you after this.
Hey y'all, it's Lisa with Halloween Express, Greenville's Halloween superstore for 22 years. It's been a crazy year, but Halloween is not canceled. We have everything you need to make this Halloween one to remember. And did someone say mask? Yeah, we have the largest selection of masks in Greenville, plus every other costume you can think of. Come visit our new location in the Target Shopping Center in Greenville. Halloween Express, what are you going to be?
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Cadillac Escalade and save over $13,000 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
Anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those. But anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in Eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar and Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
I'm an evangelical Christian, and for 28 years I voted Republican. But Tom Tillis lines up with the special interest. He takes their money, he votes with them.
That's John from Greensboro, and he's right. Tom Tillis has been waist deep in Washington corruption, taking $1 million from the drug and insurance industries, voting their way. Tillis voted to let insurance companies charge seniors higher premiums, to end protections for pre-existing conditions, and Tillis even voted to cut rural hospitals, giving tax breaks to his wealthy donors instead.
Tillis is more interested in lining the pockets of rich fat cats who are contributing to his campaign than he is in taking care of his constituents.
It's so corrupt, his donors are now under federal investigation. Tom Tillis, rural Carolina, is the last thing on his mind.
It's time for a change.
Paid for by SMP, which is responsible for the content of this ad. Senatmajority.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Hi, this is Billy Parker, and football is here. Tailgate at home with family and friends this season and let Parker's Barbecue do all the cooking. While tailgating at your house, let us provide all the food with our delicious chicken, barbecue, seafood, and sides. We can customize packages for any size group, big or small. Give us a call today and place your order. Parker's and football, a winning combination. Also shipping nationwide at parkersbbq.com. Parker's Barbecue is how friends and family come together.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Select Bank and Trust. Banking is banking until the service is not the same. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? Try Select Bank and Trust. Bank local. Bank select. SelectBank.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Got damage? Damage from wood rot, fixed. Damage from smoke or fire, fixed. Damage caused by water, fixed. If you've got damage, use a contractor that works for you and not your insurance company. Visit fixednc.com today or call 999-0001. That's 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Fixed NC, restore, renew, maintain. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
Custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. One of my all-time favorite songs. I love the build-up with the drums. The idea that they're singing from the moving guy's perspective, like it's just a great song. Great video on MTV.
Classic 80s video.
Yeah. All right.
Paging Brian North, answer your phone.
Oh, North didn't answer?
Yeah, he didn't answer.
We have time to talk about Morgan's gripe of the day.
Well, you've got a big night tonight.
Yeah, we got trivia at AJ's, 8 o'clock. Yeah. And I'll be playing tonight because one of our regulars will be hosting. We do this from time to time.
Oh, that's cool.
Where they come up with the questions, and so I get to participate. And one of my teammates will be...
Do you ever win?
I have won like once or twice.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Usually I finish like third, and it's kind of embarrassing. But, you know. One of my teammates will be Chandler, though. Chandler Hunter.
Chandler.
Yeah.
My man, Chandler.
Yeah.
What's your favorite karaoke song again, Chandler?
Don't Stop Believing, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
That's right. Oh, I'm going to show up. I'm going to come out there after trivia and sing this song.
I think he's not going to do it.
Have you stopped believing that he's going to show up?
I have. Yes, I've stopped believing.
Well, don't stop believing, because I'm going to show up one of these Wednesdays.
And he's going to sing his heart out. Morgan Ahlers.
Whatever.
Morgan, Pirates and Golden Hurricane coming up on Friday night, 9 o'clock.
You know what the Golden Hurricane is?
No, tell me.
I believe this is true. It's like the Dust Devils, the big wind sandstorms they have out there. I think Steve Logan used to say that because I think he coached at Tulsa. He was a junior college coach in the Oklahoma area, and I think he coached at Tulsa. One of his first jobs, if I'm not mistaken.
I looked this up.
I might be mistaken, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he coached at Tulsa.
I look this up every year. Why is Golden Hurricane the school's nickname? The origination of the University of Tulsa nickname Golden Hurricane came in 1922. The football team began working out in the fall with a new nickname, Yellow Jackets. In the past, Tulsa had been named Kindleites, Presbyterians, Tigers, Orange and Black, Tulsans, and Yellow Jackets.
Tulsans.
Tulsa Tulsans is kind of cool. Head coach Howard there's no R in there. Acher. Acher? I don't know. Made a remark in practice about roaring through opponents, and at that point, it was seriously considered to name the team the Golden Tornadoes, which would make more sense.
The sand, like a big sand tornado.
However, it was learned that Georgia Tech had already chosen that tag in 1917 from the tornado.
How would they know if you're in freaking Oklahoma? You don't have social media.
Word travels fast.
It's like a week later. We're going to name our team, and then 2 weeks later, we can't do it.
The coach then just went down the line. Okay, we can't be the Tornadoes. We'll be the Golden Hurricane. A few days before the team left for a game against Texas A&M, the coach asked the squad to vote on the name, the gold being added because of the color of their new jerseys. So they were the Golden Hurricane. Wanted to be the Golden Tornadoes, but it settled on Hurricane. So there you go, folks.
Georgia Tech Golden Tornado.
That sounds pretty cool, too. Yellow Jackets, kind of boring compared to Golden Tornadoes.
Is the Golden Tornado like the good tornado, like and then the black tornadoes that come through are like the bad ones?
That could be.
Somebody brought it up earlier in the week on the show. Does hurricanes even happen in Tulsa?
Well, I don't know. Where do those storms in the Gulf go? Do they hit Oklahoma?
Apparently New Orleans tonight and all of Louisiana all year.
Yeah. It has been I was talking about this with Troy, like it's obviously been an active hurricane season, but very active for the Gulf this year.
Well, it sort of runs in cycles. I mean, we get it, 2 or 3 a year for 3 or 4 years, and now they're getting, hammered down there this year.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be coming ashore late tonight and then coming up north of us, I think, but with just some wind and some rain.
All right, let's hear more from Donnie Kirkpatrick. And, of course, Holden Ahlers unable to go against Navy. We have discussed that ad nauseum. The game prep going a little bit better for this game against Tulsa. Donnie was asked about that, Shirley. Cut one. How's this week of game prep going compared to game prep for Navy?
Well, it helps my stomach, helps my digestive system. That's a tough deal. We tried to prepare for it as much as we could. We talked about, that's a possibility. But reality was that was a hectic week. It's a fun week. I mean, it's an exciting week. But it was a tough week. You call a young man on Tuesday afternoon and say, "Can you get over here a little bit early today?" And what's up? Hey, you're starting this week. And he thought I was joking. I think he was the only one that didn't know the rumors. He didn't pay attention to all the rumors or whatever. So, we had to have some cram sessions there. And this week we're kind of back, normal week. And that is a good feeling for the offense because obviously Holton's such a huge part of that. Not that Mason didn't do a good job, but obviously, he was inexperienced at it. And this gives us a much better chance to go win the game.
All right, there is Donnie Kirkpatrick. He's got a tough test coming up this week in the form of Tulsa's defense. He talked about Tulsa on the defensive side of the ball.
I tell you what, they're good. They're good all over on defense. Last year was the last game of the year. Disappointed in how we played. I was disappointed just in our effort and a lot of other things too. Really slow starting on offense. Finished pretty good. But we knew going into the game, we thought they were one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best personnel-wise. That's the same thing again. They got 5 starters back, but they got 6 other guys that all played. It was a physical game last year with them. CJ had a big game, 6 catches, I think like 140 some yards, a touchdown, had another one called back. But it was a physical game, a lot of interference calls, almost came to blows a couple of times. So their guys are going to be in your face, and they're big enough, they're physical enough, they're tall, they are long-armed, and they don't care. They might get an interference on one play. They're going to be right back at you the next play, and they're going to be physical. So our kids are going to have to really concentrate on their technique is what you got to do. You got to use release moves. You can't just come off the line of scrimmage. You've got to be a good technician. You got to use your release moves. We got to help them some. We got to use motions. We got to move them around a little bit. You got to find some illegal rubs in there to get them off some of the man coverage. But they present a lot of problems. There's 5 DBs. It's a 3-3 stack type scheme with 5 DBs. It's very unusual, but it's becoming popular in college football right now. And so we're starting to see a little bit more of it. SMU's running a version of it. South Florida's actually running a version of this too. So we are getting some experience at seeing it. So hopefully that'll help us.
All right, Donnie Kirkpatrick there said a couple of things. Talked about last year's game. We'll get to that in a moment. But also, Morgan, we've kind of talked about this. C.J. Johnson, an emotional kid. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the DB can get in his head a little bit. And if Donnie's talking about it to us on Tuesday, he's definitely talking to C.J. about it at practice. Got to keep your head this week. Stay focused on what we're doing, not what their guys doing to you.
I used to watch the movie Bad Boys.
Martin Lawrence and
Will Smith. Mm-hmm. When the Joe Pantaleone, the cop.
Okay.
Woosah. You get upset, sit on the side and go woosah.
Okay.
Rub your ears.
That's good advice, Morgan. Have you passed this along to the team?
No.
But we saw him kind of break out against South Florida, and hopefully he can have a big one coming up Friday.
I hope so. I think that there were chances last year early on against Tulsa. It just didn't, for whatever reason, didn't work, and we got behind. And last year's game's over with, obviously. Yeah. But you learn from that about the things that went wrong. We didn't play well, but we were still in that game late. I mean, until we made a comeback, I think a couple touchdowns. But you got to go out and execute early on, and you got to put pressure on Tulsa to make them execute, because I think if you get them on their heels a little bit, that confidence and that swagger goes away, and then they realize they're in a tough football game.
Man, I'm glad Morgan's here, because we need a build up for this question and answer, Shirley. Morgan, if you could you give us it's time for the Mark Lindsay question of the week? Could you give us a good intro for that?
Shirley, can I get some music? I need some music.
Music?
You're
asking a lot now.
I need some dramatic music.
Oh, dear.
Well, you're throwing me on the spot. I got to get in character. And now, the Mark Lindsay question of the week.
Beautiful. Shirley, cut through.
Donnie, everybody knows that you're going to have to be able to throw the football a little bit against Tulsa. And, unlike your days when you were in the band, the Romantics, back in your big hair days in the 1980s, you wouldn't be talking in your sleep if you didn't say something about the fact that you're going to have to be able to run the ball too.
Well,
all right, hold on. Wait.
Right.
What is that?
So he used the big hair days.
Yeah.
He used in the rock band the Romantics.
Now, is there a reference I'm just not understanding?
And then he said "Talking in Your Sleep" was, I guess, the name of the song by the Romantics. But I didn't. Was that from the Romantics, Shirley? "Talking in Your Sleep"?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. It was, I think, one of their only hits.
No, I know they had a couple, because they actually played at the Attic.
Talking in Your Sleep was the only one I ever remembered.
Singles. Oh, okay. What I Like About You.
What I Like About You. Okay.
Talking in Your Sleep.
Talking in Your Sleep, yeah.
How does that go?
Talking in Your Sleep?
Because all I can think about is the
I
Cars.
can see the
I don't
secrets
mind
that
you
you
coming
keep.
here.
Do when you're talking in your sleep.
Yeah.
But Donnie was in the band?
That's what I don't get.
See, Mark was an old radio DJ.
Yeah.
A long time ago. And
ding, 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 ding.
I mean, now that's one of those questions, and you need to ask Mark, was it pre-scripted, or did all that come off the top of his head?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Donnie was going like, look at me, I don't have big hair.
Well, we've got, hey, Shirley, while we're here, can you pull up the other Mark Lindsay classics? Do you have those? Let's hear some more, Mark.
And Mark, by the way,
he's been on the show. We joke with him.
He's a great guy.
Very nice guy.
Illustrated.
Very nice guy.
He does a good job.
All right, but he has great questions.
He has great questions.
Let's hear one of them, Shirley.
How do you feel like you match up against this particular ball club as you come into this week? That's a pretty, that could play, at the higher level for sure.
I mean, that's a great question.
Mark Lindsay and the higher level question of the week.
Wait, maybe that is Higher Ground was the song by Red Hot Chili Peppers. All right,
Blake, where do you feel like you've learned the most about your defense so far? What have they gotten better at, best, and besides what you just talked about, where they got to get better at?
Best.
Mark Lindsay and the good, better, best question of the week.
And finally,
what do you turkeys got cooked up for Thanksgiving here?
Hopefully try to get a little momentum
That's
going
the
here.
best.
And,
he uses music references, but also the time of the year. It's
Mark
a Thanksgiving
Lindsay
game.
And the holiday question of the week.
We got all these. These are great. Fantastic. All right, let's hit the Q&A with Mark Lindsay, Donnie Kirkpatrick here, Shirley.
Donnie, everybody knows that you're going to have to be able to throw the football a little bit against Tulsa. And, unlike your days when you were in the band, the Romantics, back in your big hair days in the 1980s, you wouldn't be talking in your sleep if you didn't say something about the fact that you're going to have to be able to run the ball too.
Well, our goal was always to try to be balanced. Meeting with Coach Houston earlier in the week, and he's like, came in and how are they? And I was like, well, you're not going to want to hear this, but they're pretty good again. And he's like, yeah, no, I already know that. I knew they were. And he's like, are we going to be able to run the ball? And I said, well, we'll have to be able to run the ball. And he's like, don't worry, I don't care if you throw it 60 times, whatever. I don't care how you do it. We just got to find a way to move it, and we got to find a way to score points. And so just, do what you got to do. And I was like, well, we will. But you'll have to be balanced because they'll drop 8 guys on you in pass coverage. They'll play man, but they'll still drop 8. It's a lot of tight seams. It's hard to throw the ball, when people drop 8 guys. You got to be able to run the ball in order to get them to play some run defenses so that you can throw the ball. At the same time, you just got to keep them off off kilter a little bit because you can't let them know what you're going to do. I think we're suited for that. I feel good about our run game. I feel good that we can throw the ball as well. What I'd like to see us do now is do both of them really well in one game. I think we kind of did that at South Florida. I think that was probably the reason for our success of scoring so many points there. That's probably the only game we've been able to do both really well. So we're going to need to do that again. I think we're set up for that, though. So it's going to be a fun night.
All right.
This sets up as
Wait, stop, Mark.
difficult matchup to try
Mark,
to run
stop
the football
talking.
against this
The
bunch.
Mark Lindsay run-on question of the week.
Did I not cut that up right, Shirley? Look, anytime we get more Mark Lindsay, it's a good thing, though. What's up, Chandler?
I like how Coach just went right into the answer and didn't acknowledge
Like it
the
was
references.
normal. Yeah, that was just a normal question.
But knowing Coach like I know him, when he probably got off and probably went back and listened to it, he's
What
like,
the hell are you talking about?
Exactly. Like, okay.
Talking in Your Sleep was a #1 U.S. dance hit, Morgan Ahlers. What I like about you...
Still play that.
That's a great song, but it was 49th. That was the highest it peaked.
That was more of a cult following song after it made it.
Gotcha.
And there's that song, Violent Femmes, their song. Huh?
Oh, Blister in the Sun.
Blister in the Sun is one of my favorites.
I still play it now, and I'll play it tonight, and the place will go crazy.
Yeah, that's such a great song.
Let me go on.
Like a blister in the sun.
Like
Big hands, you're known in the one. Sorry.
Chandler will be singing that tonight.
Have
Morgan.
you ever heard that, Chandler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Wait a minute, you're shaking your head. No. Yeah.
No, that part where she clapped.
No.
I do remember that song. So I know some old school songs.
All right, let's get one more Donnie K cut in here before we take a timeout. Shirley, cut 7. What is the status of Demetrius Mooney, ECU's leading rusher from a year ago, and also Josiah Hatfield, one of the biggest playmakers from last year? Donnie talked about those two guys.
Well, let's just kind of go back because it's all of an individual situation. You mentioned Mooney, Demetrius Mooney. He has had just, a bad situation in that he's been injured. You know what I'm saying? He's had a lot of things that have gone on with him. Had the foot problem. So the reason he hasn't been in there playing a lot is he has not been physically able to go play. So, yeah, he was involved back in special teams a lot. And then, again, now he's got another condition that's going on that's a medical deal. So that's why he's not playing. It's not that he's better than he was last year. Now, we got some other cats that are playing pretty good. So that's a tough room in there to get reps at. You better be pretty good. But we haven't thrown him away. Who was the other one you asked? Hatfield?
Oh, is that where it cut off? Yeah, okay. That was the second part of that where he talked about Josiah Hatfield.
One of his favorite players. And
he said he's my dream guy or whatever.
And then they asked him about Dante, and he can jump. So that's the rest of his quote. So he's good.
Did you listen to it too?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Oh, okay.
I listened to it.
What did you think about it?
I just told you.
And getting Josiah on the field would be nice. Mooney, look, right now you got those two freshmen, Morgan, and you need depth at running back.
You've got to have depth at running back because, Keaton Mitchell's only so big now. Rajay is a big physical running back, and he's got the speed. He's shown it a couple times this year.
But there's a freshman wall, too, that he's going to hit at some point after taking a beating.
And but hopefully, with having a week off when they did, in Navy he took some shots, but he didn't get as physically assaulted as he could have as a true running back around here.
That's the skill too, right? Taking a hit, for a running back.
Yes, you've got to be able to run the football. And if you're going out of bounds, sort of glance instead of taking a direct hit, someone get ready to hit you, sort of glance off the defender, so you don't take that, you don't absorb all that shock.
Morgan Ahlers is hanging out. Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt. Let's take a time out. We'll come back, have more from the coaches. We'll hear a little bit from Blake Harrell talking about the ECU defense facing off against a very balanced Tulsa attack. That and more on the way. Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
Paid for by Dylan for Judge. Well, if it isn't Danny Lotz, a member of the 1957 National Championship Tar Heels. How you getting along, Danny?
CA, the Lord is really blessing me, and you look well. By the way, CA, have you seen the sample ballot for this year's election?
Well, I'm casting my vote for Chris Dillon.
I'm Judge Chris Dillon. Though my father and Dr. Lotz rooted for different teams, I was honored when they recorded that ad for my first campaign nearly a decade ago. Both men were great role models in my life, and I've strived to emulate their example of treating all people equally, no matter what team they rooted for or their politics. When you vote this year, please remember the 5 Court of Appeals races. I will be the only candidate on your ballot seeking re-election, having served longer on the court than the other 9 candidates combined. I have broad bipartisan support, including the endorsements of both Democrat and Republican judges. So no matter your affiliation, this year when you get to the judges, I would again be honored if you would vote to re-elect me, Judge Chris Dillon. Thank you.
So look for the judges and vote Chris Dillon.
Hi, this is Scott Muller with Clean Eats. Carol and I would like to personally thank all of you for supporting Clean Eats so well through these tough times. We are blessed to have such a great community helping us weather the storm. If you're having trouble consistently eating healthy, go to cleaneats.com and click on meal plans and give our tasty and affordable meals a try. Or stop by the cafe for lunch and let us show you just how simple and easy it is to get started and stay on track. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Hey Pirate fans, this is head coach Mike Houston. The physicians at Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center have been taking care of our athletes here at East Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or if it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care, physical therapy, and diagnostic testing. For experienced and professional services, call the folks who have been taking care of me and many of our fans in Pirate Nation or visit them online at orthopedicseast.com. Go Pirates!
The Shine Factory of Greenville is excited to announce their new mini detail stations are now available at each vacuum station. That's right, after you get the outside of your vehicle cleaned, you can now detail the inside of it with free air freshener, leather cleaner, and tire shine. Join the Shine Factory's Unlimited Wash Club for as low as $20 a month and free mini detail services after every wash. The Shine Factory, where customer service is always number one. The Shine Factory, open daily from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Memorial Drive across from Lowe's.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville. We are back, baby. We are back.
CPW's is back. Back open every day for lunch. CPW's classic menu is also back with all of your favorites like tortellini CPW's, Cajun chicken and pasta, classic lasagna, the garbage pizza, the stromboli, calzone, Atlantic salmon, the Cajun fried shrimp wrap, and more. Start every meal off with your favorite beverage and CPW's fresh baked bread and garlic butter. CPW's is back. Back open for lunch in the Stanton Square Shopping Center next to the hospital. Follow CPW's on Facebook for daily updates.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is proud ECU graduate and former baseball player Brandon Manning inviting you to join my team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Right now, during hurricane season, is a good time to review your coverage with a local trusted agent like me. I will make myself available before or after business hours, and my clients always have my cell phone number if they need anything. From home, auto, or life, give me a call today and let's talk about your insurance coverage and about the Pirates. Call 531-1812 and go Pirates!
Pirate Radio.
The
voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Select Bank and Trust. Banking is banking until the service is not the same. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? Try Select Bank and Trust. Bank local. Bank Select. SelectBank.com. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Eat healthy at Clean Eats. Sign up for a meal plan at cleaneats.com or stop in to eat at the cafe or grab a meal to go. Clean Eats on Red Banks Road and online at cleaneats.com. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Broad.
Morgan, can you give me an intro? We have a Josh Thomas ECU football update.
Here's the Josh Thomas ECU football update.
The team's out on the practice field.
The team is on the practice field.
There you go. There's your update. Thanks, Josh. All right. Getting the day of practice in.
Hoorah!
Hey, you know what? That's not always a guarantee in 2020. So I'm glad to hear they're out practicing.
Excitement time!
Excitement time! Pirates looking to go on the road and get a victory, something they've already done one time this year.
What is the line? It's like 18 points?
It's 17 at last check. Too many?
Mm-hmm.
Morgan saying too many. How you doing on picks this year? If the Browns kicker makes an extra point. That one.
Let me tell you something. I'm probably an average picker at best. I'm in a pool that does we pick, you get 10 points a week. The most points wins. You double star it. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I had Cleveland in my pool, -3.5. They score the touchdown. Yes! Excited.
Excitement time.
I look at Sandra.
Excitement time!
Excitement time! I look at Sandra. I say, he's going to miss this field goal. He's going to miss the extra point.
It could be a total goat rodeo.
She looks at me. She says, what do you mean? I said, you watch. He's going to miss this. I need him to make it. He's going to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
He missed the freaking extra point.
That was Troy D's guy, too, Shirley. That was double doink.
How about the quadruple doink the other day?
Oh, how awesome was that?
The Rice kicker?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hits the left, middle, hit the right, middle, left, middle, over. At least if you hit it 4 times, it should count.
For something.
I mean, that should be a new rule next year. If you hit the uprights 4 times, I don't care if it bounces, it's still good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That was crazy.
Never seen anything like that.
Morgan, you play fantasy football?
Not this year.
Okay.
Not this year.
You have in the past?
I have in the past.
We'll talk some fantasy football. Hey, I got a question for the football expert, Morgan Ahlers. So I have Kyler Murray, a.k.a. Calamari, as my quarterback. He is not playing this week. So who should I pick up and start? Jimmy G at Seattle, Joe Burrow versus Tennessee, Derek Carr at Cleveland, Baker Mayfield versus Las Vegas, Phillip Rivers at Detroit.
So you have a chance to get Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
Take Baker Mayfield.
All these quarterbacks are available, and I can pick up one and start him this week.
Take Baker Mayfield.
Baker versus the Raiders?
Yes.
All right. He looked good last. The problem is he looked like his ribs had fallen out of his body.
Now, before you are correct on that, but he still threw the winning touchdown in the game. He played really well in the game the other night.
Yeah.
I don't know about whoever's playing Seattle, Jimmy G. Because the fact that Seattle lost the other day, I think their defense is going to be mad.
That was a wild one.
That was a crazy game. And I think Seattle bounces back in that game.
Burrow versus Tennessee. Tennessee's good.
But Tennessee's 5-1. We were just talking about the spread. They're only a 5.5 point favorite, 53 point over under, I think, in that game, 53.5. But Burrow is showing people that he could be the real deal. He could be, and maybe it's. I say in the NFL, you got to give a quarterback a couple years to really settle in and figure out what's going on. But he's on a bad team and he's still playing well.
Do you need to give Dwayne Haskins another year? Because I don't think you do. I don't think he's got it.
I didn't think he had it at Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately,
from the moment he rented out the bowling alley. Didn't he rent the bowling alley out in Baltimore and charge like $30 a head to come in on draft night?
Well, that's just smart economics right there.
No, dude, come on.
And I hate the guy for that.
Come on, man.
I might do that in AMF tonight.
We're talking about bowling.
Not football.
We're not talking about like the country club. We're talking about the bowling alley.
We're talking about the draft.
No, I think I don't think.
I don't care about that. I care about him stinking on the football field.
I don't think
which he does.
I just don't think he's. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear more from the ECU perspective on Tulsa, and talk about their offense as Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator of the Pirates, went over the Tulsa offense yesterday. Shirley, cut one.
Yeah, they're certainly a good offense, and experienced quarterback who does a really nice job running the offense and putting the ball in those receivers' hands. Huge up front, good running back. So, like you said, certainly a challenge for us. For us, I think we got to stop the run on what I call the normal downs, first and second down, and get them in third down situations. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 10 plus. The longer the better for us. But that's where we got to win it at, and it just starts off, by doing a good job with our fundamentals up front, linebacker wise, and make sure we don't give up the big play in the pass game, and be ready to go. As we tell our kids all week, and even in the bye week last week, the team that's more physical plays, better effort, better energy, better execution is going to be the team that has a chance to win the ball game in the fourth quarter. And I know that sounds kind of like a repeat from week to week, but it's very consistent from week to week.
Morgan, one thing you mentioned there, third downs, and ECU was great against Navy on third down. The problem is I think Navy converted maybe some fourth downs, but third down wise, they were able to get off the field. This defense has been improving every week, and we'll see what they can do this Friday.
I wish we would have had the South Florida game and the Navy game ahead of the Central Florida game. Because I really think that the team has progressed a lot. Even in the loss against Navy, I thought defensively we played well. And no, Navy didn't have a Malcolm Perry at quarterback. I mean, that was obvious. I mean, he's one of those guys that just dynamic and really made things happen from all aspects of the offense. He was the offense, and everybody else was sort of an accompanying player, obviously. But you still have to stop it, because if you don't, there were a couple times the other night you saw what that Navy offense can do when they broke a few long runs, and but for the most part, I thought they did a great job, and hopefully they'll do a good job this week too.
Morgan, you've been around a long time. You have seen a lot of stories that is forming like Elijah Morris' story this year, a walk-on guy, an unheard of guy that goes on to be a stud at East Carolina. And maybe Elijah Morris is the next chapter in that book. Cut 5, Shirley Blake Harrell talked about the young defensive lineman and how he's coming along.
Yeah, Elijah's he's kind of my hero right now. He's kind of the underdog, came in here, nobody knew about him, and for a while there, all we called him by was his number, and he was number 60 for a while in camp and through the preseason, and we just called him 60, and he kept coming to work every day, and he'd work his tail off, fight his tail off. It didn't matter if he was going against the 2s, the 3s, the 1s. He kept showing up, and next thing you know, he's in the lineup, he's on the travel team, gets to start against Navy and makes some big plays throughout the ball game. And he's changed numbers now, so we had to call him 90 sometimes, but we all for sure know his name by now.
All right, another storybook being written here of an underdog walk-on type of guy.
I remember hearing Bobby Bowden talk about it at Florida State, and they were talking about the players on the depth chart. He says, my job's not to know the players on the 3rd and 4th team. My job's to get them. Our coach's job's to get them here, coach them up. I need to know them when they're on the first and a half team, is what he used to say. The first and a half.
He also used to call everybody by their number. Like 94 had a good week, and but 62, I tell you, he struggled.
He struggled
about as much as 74. But Elijah coming along, and again, more like how many times over the years has a guy like this popped up at ECU?
East Carolina has made careers for a lot of players in college, that the diamonds in the rough, that you look on film, they might be 2 inches too short, or they would have gone someplace big time. And they brought these guys in, and they've made it. There's been a lot of defensive players over the years. And, I heard you talking last week. Damon Magazoo was one of them. I mean, Mags was a good high school player, comes from a football family, obviously, but he was not the guy that if you look at him on tape, God, he just is a stud. He had a few offers, and he came here, and the rest is history.
So you heard Rick Smith talking about, I guess it was Skip during the recruitment, and they said, Rick, he's slow. I said, well, he knows every play that's about to happen.
Well, there was a linebacker here under Steve Logan. I remember Logan talking about it at a press conference. I think his name was Anthony Thompson, played for Denver for a couple of years, so he had a cup of coffee in the league, and he talked about his 40 time. He said Anthony started like 2 years here, middle linebacker. He said Anthony's 40 times like a 5.6. He said, but football speed going side to side, he's like a 4.3, because he knows how to run, he knows how to cut an angle, and when he hits you, he hits you. And Logan, I remember him saying that when Anthony went, I don't know if he was drafted or if he had an invited walk on tryout for Denver, but Logan had to talk to the scout for these guys to say, look, you need to look at this guy. You don't worry about his combine time.
Right.
He's a football player.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes teams do get too worked up about what you can do in your underwear on a practice field.
And I've been to enough football combines and high school combines and football camps over the, when Holton was, freshman all the way through his senior year. And you see these guys get out there and they're wearing track cleats. They're wearing, not tighty-whities. What are those things called? Compression pants. Mm-hmm. And they're wearing track gear. And they're running the 40 like that. Well, nobody plays football in that gear.
You got to wear your pads.
And nobody runs on the track beside a stadium. You're in grass, somebody's chasing you, and the grass is wet, the grass is dry, that kind of thing. Shirley.
Oh, we got a guest on the program. Oh man,
wait a minute.
He's going to give us 4 minutes of his
4 minutes. 4 minutes of
4
the
minutes
greatest
of heaven.
Well, in North, this isn't the high school huddle. You had a scheduled time.
So what happened was the phone died, and I plugged it in, and I forgot to restart it when I plugged it in.
Brian North has never been the same since he got rid of Flippy, the flip phone.
Flippy never died on me. Never.
Flippy lives on
until the end. Well, it died at the end, but he never died up until that point.
We were, who, by the way, to finish our conversation, Morgan, who runs fast in pads? DK Metcalf.
Yes.
How about that the other night? That was incredible.
Wow.
Chasing down Buda Baker. North, how you hanging in there, man? You feeling better since the last time we talked?
I think I'm finally rid of the COVID. I mean, the virus I had. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Did you do a test?
Voice is back.
Well, what'd you have?
Yeah. I had some virus.
Okay, some virus. All right, the North virus.
I did not need medical attention, so I never really clarified what it was.
I got you.
Everybody's fine around me, and I didn't go around anybody, so everybody's good.
Good deal. What do you think about the Pirates in Tulsa facing off on Friday night, North?
Boy, that's late. 9 o'clock kick.
That's your first thought? Too late? Yeah. Too late of a game?
As the terrorist is now waking me up earlier and earlier again, I thought we'd passed that point. I thought she'd moved into her teenage years and was now sleeping till like 7, 8, 9. Now we've regressed to like 5:30 again, and so it's been bad.
One word for you: Benadryl.
Just a little pinch.
I neither condone nor will deny such things.
Morgan, if you didn't have a vested interest in this game, would you stay up for the entire? Could you stay up? Are you a night owl? I guess so, with your DJing and stuff.
Let me tell you something. This virus thing that has been going around and caused a lot of nightclubs and bars, because I was working 3, 4, 5 nights a week. Mm-hmm. Last Friday, Saturday night was the first 2 nights back to back. I had worked late since March. And no, I'm out of shape. I come home and the music's loud, my head's ringing. Never used to do that. So I got to get back in.
You got to get conditioned.
I got to get in condition again, yeah.
All right.
Well, I was used to that 3 o'clock to about 4:30 nap in the afternoon.
Well, you're going to...
it works.
You might need one on Friday. North, we were talking about the defense, and unfortunately, you kind of have to scrap everything you did against Navy, where you played pretty well to get ready for this Tulsa team. But you kind of hope the second half of Georgia State, really most of the game against South Florida, and what you did hanging tough toe-to-toe with Navy can carry over when you take on Tulsa Friday night.
I think they feel confident in what the coaches are game planning for them now, right?
Yeah.
Because they did well against different offenses now, and being so young, I think they're kind of believing in what the coaching staff is doing. So I think that's a huge part of playing defense. But, just turn on the tape of what Tulsa did to ECU last year will sober you up in a hurry. But I think there's cautious confidence there on the defensive side.
Brian North joining us. North, how about this? Drivers have been told to get in their cars.
Yep.
Engines will fire at 5 o'clock. They will finally try to finish this race from Sunday.
I was hoping it'd go all the way till the weekend.
I really was,
I wanted to see how far they push this back.
How long can they stay in Texas and still race Sunday in Martinsville? I wanted to see that.
So pre-COVID, they would have never done this, right? But now when they had the COVID races, they were racing twice a week. They were no practices, no qualifying, none of this stuff. Now it's just like, whatever, man. As long as you have like enough time to get to the next track, you could probably race Saturday and then go somewhere else for Sunday now. It's kind of changed the way you look at racing and what you have to do to get prepared for a race. Preparation seems way overrated in NASCAR now.
Brian, big game for the Panthers tomorrow night as they take on Atlanta. They go for the sweep. They go for a division win, and a tough. They got the Chiefs coming up after that, so they need this W to get back to 500.
Yeah, the two losses in a row kind of eroded your confidence a little bit. But look, they're in the games. I think what Matt Rule is doing, he has the locker room's attention. They're believing in what he's doing, his coaching staff. But you'd like some confirmation through wins, and we'll see if the Christian McCaffrey curse or the Christian McCaffrey All-Star shows up and will help them. But the Falcons are a down team right now. You get them at home, and boy, that's just a beat-up puppy dog right now that they've got coming in. That that's one you don't want to lose for sure, especially with the way the Falcons have been playing.
Well, the Falcons are going to jump out 35-3, and there's going to be 4 minutes left to go in the game, and the Panthers will come back and win.
Yeah.
And Todd Gurley will score another game-losing touchdown for their team.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I can't believe people criticize the guy. You break a tackle at the 2, and then you have to make that split-second decision, like, oh yeah, I don't want to score, when it's your natural instinct to score. And why do you criticize the guy for doing his job when you have a defense that's supposed to be doing theirs? And so I hate that he received any kind of criticism for doing what he's supposed to do, even though he tried not to do it.
First time I remember seeing a defensive player celebrating and raising his arms as Gurley crossed the goal line. It was the strangest thing there for the Lions. Lions and Falcons, a marriage made for each other, and that was a wild one on Sunday. North, we're done with you. We got to take a break.
I apologize.
It's all good.
I'm glad I made some kind of make good on this.
Yeah.
It's like forgetting the wife's anniversary. You're never going to live it down, but at least you don't get completely kicked out.
How about we call you Friday night? What are you going to be doing in the 8 o'clock hour? Will you be available?
Yeah. Right now the terrace goes to bed around 8 o'clock, so that'd be perfect.
All right. Terrace to sleep. We can talk to North.
That's just all kinds of wrong.
She's going to hear this one day.
She is.
And resent you, Brian.
This is going to be online forever. Daddy, you call me a tourist.
Why is she talking so Southern?
Did you see the video I posted on Facebook of her howling? She howls like a dang wolf.
Oh, man. You might have a poltergeist situation on your hands or something there. I don't know. All right, North. Thanks for joining us, man.
All right, fellas. Good talking to you.
Morgan, thank you for
thanks for having me.
Hanging out today, sir.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy.
And by the way, the game will be over like at 12:30, quarter to 1 or something like that. You asked if I could come in and do the post game. No. No.
You're like preemptively.
I'm just telling you, no. My car broke down. The dog ate my
Wait, your car already broke down for Friday?
It broke down Friday night.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a shame.
I can foresee the future.
Shirley?
You're going to miss out on Halloween costumes and everything.
You're going to have so much fun.
Okay.
It'll be so much fun.
I'll be listening from...
You'll be snoring.
The palatial estate in Swan Point, the Tindominium.
The Tindominium. That sounds fun. Thank you, Morgan. Enjoyed it, man.
Thank you.
We will visit with The Voice. Jeff Charles coming up next.
Don't stop believing.
We'll take a time out. Come back. Hour 3 on the way after this.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Representative John Bell, the Majority Leader of the North Carolina House, and it has been an honor serving the people of Eastern North Carolina the last 8 years. I've had the privilege of working with your local representatives, Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey, as they delivered hundreds of millions of dollars in COVID relief funding to our small businesses, healthcare providers, and families right here in Pitt County. Unfortunately, their opponents are funded by radical liberal out-of-state donors that want to destroy our agriculture heritage, defund the police, and silence your voice by buying this election. This is not North Carolina. We cannot and will not let this happen. Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey are focused on solutions, not revolutions. They will make sure your voice is heard and represent our Eastern North Carolina values. So Pirate Nation, the choice is clear. On November 3rd, please support and vote for Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey for the North Carolina House. Strong voices for Eastern North Carolina. Paid for by the John Bell Committee.
Hey Pirate fans, this is Cliff Godwin. Baseball is back at Clark LeClaire Stadium. We will be hosting several youth camps over the next couple months. All camps will be at Clark LeClaire Stadium, and all camps are open to participants between the ages of 7 and 13. Make sure to check out our camp website at cliffgodwinbaseballcamp.com for all camp details and registration information. And of course, go Pirates!
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender. In studio with Gloria from Kinetic Physical Therapy. What kind of wellness services do you guys offer?
We have massage therapy with your choice of either a relaxation massage, a therapeutic stretching session, or a prenatal massage. We have foot reflexology. We partner with Pirate Cryo for cryotherapy, also known as cold therapy, and we have health and wellness coaching. And if you're interested in holistic body therapy and saving money, we encourage you to check out our wellness membership plan, where you can have all of our wellness services at a constant discounted price. You can learn more today at kptonline.com.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. For Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and the best burgers around. Check out the spicy mahi risotto or the bourbon pecan salmon. Wednesday night is date night. 2 salads, an appetizer, a bottle of wine, 2 entrees, and a dessert for just $55. Thursday is ladies' night with $5 martinis and special apps. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Braun.
All right, we have cars on a track live on NBC Sports Network. Believe it or not, we're going to have some racing in Texas going on. So there's something to watch with nothing else happening in the world of sports. I think all we got tonight's MLS to keep an eye on during sports trivia. So we'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the race. Coming up in this hour, hour 3 of the show, The Voice, Jeff Charles, will join us on the Fixed NC Live line. Got that on the way. And later on this hour, we will talk to Kelly Hines from the Tulsa World. Get another update on Tulsa and the football team, the players to watch coming up on Friday night when they take on the Pirates. All that is ahead. In hour number 3, we also have to open up the booty bag. We'll do that in this hour as well. More to go on Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store and Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
The
Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at QualityEquip.com.
Decisions say a lot about character, like the time Liberal State House candidate Brian Farkas campaigned against funding for the ECU School of Medicine. It's true. Farkas colluded with Raleigh politicians to block critical funding for the ECU Brody School of Medicine, all at a time when we desperately need better health care. And in return, Farkas received huge campaign donations from some of Raleigh's biggest power players. Because when it comes to priorities, Brian Farkas will put his political career ahead of Eastern North Carolina every time. Representative Perrin Jones, on the other hand, has served our community for over 20 years as a doctor. Perrin Jones has a plan to improve health care, increase teacher pay, and get our economy moving again. Vote Dr. Perrin Jones for State House.
Paid for by supporters of Perrin Jones. Authorized by Perrin Jones, candidate for North Carolina House.
What's the big deal?
Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand-tossed pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going! There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit PestTechOfGreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
Did you know your small change can make a difference? The next time you visit McDonald's, please consider rounding up for the Ronald McDonald House. Your change adds up and can help many folks in Eastern North Carolina. Just $10 can provide a free night stay for families with sick children here in Eastern North Carolina and across the state. Just ask your cashier at checkout or choose to round up for RMHC when ordering through the McDonald's app. Thank you for visiting your local McDonald's owned by Dixon Foods and for your support of the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina. University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They thank you for your continued support and trust during these trying times. Many services can be done remotely and free pickup and delivery is available. As a Dell business partner and Apple authorized service provider, you can count on University PC Care for all your personal and business tech support needs. To make a remote appointment or to bring in your device for service at their Greenville or New Bern locations, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
Pirate Radio.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Live well, move more, and hurt less with Kinetic Physical Therapy. If you're recovering from an injury, getting back into sports, dealing with everyday pain or fatigue, then Kinetic Physical Therapy can help you get back on track and live well. Kinetic has national certified therapists for physical, occupational, speech, and massage therapy, all in a state-of-the-art facility on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. Visit kineticptgreenville.com. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, the Dodgers are the World Series champions. No baseball for the remainder of 2020. Of course, no NBA, hockey. We're waiting on football. But there is a live sporting event going on. How about a little Wednesday early evening NASCAR? They just waved the flag,
You mean they're finally on the track?
Clint Boyer is leading lap 57 of 334, Shirley, as yes, they are finally back underway. They've been waiting since Sunday afternoon to get this race back going, and it just started up. So keep an eye on that. We will talk some Pirate football as well with the voice of the Pirates, Jeff Charles. He joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Jeff, how you doing today?
Cliff, I'm doing great. Hope you are.
Yes, sir. Doing well, and looking forward to another East Carolina football game coming up Friday night, late night, as they take on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. And Jeff, I guess one positive, and I know you like being with the team and being right there on top of the action, but you don't have to make that trip to Tulsa this year, right?
Don't have to make the trip. We're doing these games remotely, Cliff. You and I have talked about that this fall, and so we will be in Greenville in our beautiful new production facility, which is located under the stadium, and we will be doing the game remotely like a lot of radio networks are across the country these days. And so my ETA at home will be about 1:15 instead of about 4:30.
There you go. You can check us out on the U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show on the way home, Jeff, as we will be here in the Pirate Radio studios. If Pirate fans want to talk about it, late night, early morning, we'll be here to do that right here on Pirate Radio. Jeff, one question, and it's been answered a little bit because we talked to Bruce Howard earlier in the show, play-by-play voice of Tulsa. But one thing I've brought up all week, when did Tulsa get this good? And I guess you started to see signs of it last year. They had some close losses to SMU and to Memphis and to Cincinnati. They're able to knock off Central Florida, which they did that again this year. And really the last game of the season kind of told the tale that Tulsa was ahead of ECU with where they were with Philip Montgomery. They blew out the Pirates to end the season last year. And, Jeff, they have picked up right where they left off. They look like a really good football team on both sides of the ball.
They really do, Cliff. The word solid is the one I've been using this week, and we'll use on the broadcast coming up on Friday night. Offense, defense, special teams, they're just good. There's not really an Achilles heel so far. When you look at this team through 3 games, they're big, they're strong, they're fast enough, they're quick enough, they're experienced. Going to have a big edge on the Pirates experience-wise. They've got a lot of juniors and seniors that have played a lot of football there. And I'll say this for the Tulsa administration, Cliff. They have stuck with Philip Montgomery. I think this is a good lesson for a lot of people around the country. Tulsa's had 3 straight losing seasons. And as we all know in Division I football these days, the coach has 3 straight losing years, and oftentimes he gets the gate. Well, they have stuck with him, and as you can see, that has paid off because here they are now. He's got the program back to where it was a few years ago, and they're really good. Now, when you hire a coach, number one, you've got to hire the right guy. And number two, when he is struggling, like most coaches, when they go into a new situation, there's a reason why they go there. It's usually because the program is struggling, and as soon as he has a losing season or two, you can't start trying to fire him. If you've got the right guy, you've got to stick with the right guy. And as we all know, that's painful sometimes, but in this world of college football, it just doesn't change overnight. So if you have the right coach, stick with him through thick and thin. And if he is the right guy for the job, he'll sooner or later get it turned the right direction. And that's what we're hoping, of course, that Mike Houston does here at ECU. But again, tip of the cap to the Tulsa administration. They have stuck with Philip Montgomery, and it's paying off for him.
I agree, Jeff, and I was wrong. I thought he was going to go the way of ECU's coach Mo, Scotty Montgomery. I thought both Montgomerys were going to be out of the AAC, but they have stuck with him, and they were able to show that promise for really the second half of last season and finishing strong, and now 2-1 starting this year. And, Jeff, another thing they do that I talked to Donnie Kirkpatrick about it. He kind of missed the old days when everybody was just putting up 40 points and playing a shootout. Tulsa plays some defense, Jeff, and they might be, and you've heard some coaches talk about it this week, the best defense in the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, they play really good defense, Cliff. I mean, they're giving up 18.7 points a game. Now, I know it's only 3 games, but still, in this day and age of college football, when you're doing that, that's a really good sign that your defense is really stout, and that's what this defense is. And this guy, Zaven Collins, he's the real deal. Yeah. In this league or any league in college football, you don't see a 6'4", 260-pound linebacker who can run, who can cover, who can hit. I was talking today with Donnie about this guy, and he says on those jet sweeps that UCF runs, that, and we know how fast those UCF running backs are. He was running guys down from the backside at 260 pounds. So he's the real deal. They're saying he's going to be an early NFL draft pick. And so the Pirates are going to have to be aware of his presence on the field at all times. Oftentimes he plays to the boundary side of the field. So we'll watch for that as well. But their defense is good. They're big in the secondary. This guy, remember from last year, Alec Green, they're talking about him as an NFL draft pick as well. He's a big corner, physical guy who can run. And their defensive line is big and experienced. So they're just a tough matchup. They're a tough matchup for anybody in this league. And it's going to be a tough matchup for the Pirates on Friday night. They're going to have to bring their A game. They're going to have to play probably a little bit over their heads. And Tulsa's going to have to help the Pirates if they're going to win this game and maybe turn it over 3 or 4 times.
Well, good news for Pirate fans, Jeff. Holton Ahlers back at quarterback for ECU after missing last week after a positive COVID-19 test, and he is back in the lineup for ECU. And Donnie Kirkpatrick said he's ready to go. He's got that chemistry with the wide receivers, and really it was kind of a shame, Jeff, he had to miss last game because he was about as efficient as he's ever been in that South Florida game. You just hope his connection with C.J. Johnson and Prohl and Snead can return. I think it will. And also you got to get Rajay Harris going, of course, at the running back position. But it is nice to have the big lefty back at quarterback for the Pirates.
Well, he has such a great presence with his football team, Clip, and I was finally able to get access to the players yesterday and do some one-on-one interviews and sat down with Holton. I think we did our best interview that we've ever had with Holton because of him. He was just really loose and just really confident about the game and about the way this offense is coming along, and he really did a great interview, and he's such a terrific kid. All you have to do is sit down with Holton for about 5 minutes, and you come away impressed. He's got that great attitude, and nobody works harder or tries harder. So you really pull for him, being the local kid, of course, as well. So, yes, it's great to have Holton back. Hopefully he can have a big game. He's going to go against a really good defense. He's going to have a lot of help. That offensive line is going to have to hold up, Clip, and they're going into this game again Friday night without 2 guys they thought would be their starting tackles. We don't expect to see Dante Smith at left tackle or Noah Henderson at right tackle again this week. And so this is a patchwork offensive line that Steve Shankweiler has done a really good job with, moving guys around, and they have gotten better. It's pretty amazing how much better they have gotten from that first game of the year, and even down at Georgia State. But, these are not the guys they thought they were going to play with this year, so you have to do the best you can, and they'll have to come up big, and the play in the trenches, like always, is a big key, and Tulsa's bigger and more experienced than ECU up front. So we'll see if that offensive line can hold up and hopefully open some holes for Raji and Keaton Mitchell, who are great stories as freshmen with his football team this year, and give Holton some time to find those receivers you talked about too.
Jeff, going into the year on the defensive side of the ball, we knew the veteran linebackers with Bivens and Ramsour and Xavier Smith, who's played team's leading tackler last year, Jaquan McMillan in the secondary, Tank Robinson, guys like that. Through 4 games, have any of the new defensive linemen, any of the new guys in the secondary, has anybody become a household name, quote unquote, for Pirate fans, for yourself, Jeff, on the defensive side of the ball? Who's showing up every week on defense for ECU that we're going to count on Friday?
Well, I don't think we've got any household names yet, but I think we've got some guys in the development stage, you might say.
Yeah.
Cliff, some of these young guys are coming along and doing a really nice job. When I sit down and I talk with the coaches about the new guys, the young guys, and who are playing well, Rick Diabreu, who we all saw play very well in the last game for ECU, he's coming on. He's only a sophomore playing on the defensive line, is doing a really nice job. They're really high on Xavier McIver, the freshman out of Cheraw, South Carolina. He's that big presence at 310 pounds up front. They like him an awful lot. They like Demir Fison an awful lot. Defensive end, sophomore out of Charlotte. And then you mentioned the guys who are more experienced, the linebackers, and also guys in the secondary. But some newcomers, the 2 JUCO guys in the secondary, they're really happy with. Sean Dorseau's a big hitter back there at strong safety, and Robert Kennedy does a nice job too when he gets to play, and he's playing quite a bit. So, you've got those 2 JUCO guys in the secondary that are playing well. that maybe Pirate fans don't quite know their names yet, but I think they will because they're really good, talented people. And Jeray Wilson out of Jacksonville is playing well too. A sophomore, he played a little bit last year, but he's been playing well. So, they've got a bunch of guys, a whole bunch of guys. I'll tell you, another guy's not playing a whole lot, but when I sit down and talk with the coaches about him, they tell me he's going to be really good in the future, and that's another defensive lineman, Jason Romero, who they really like his athleticism clip. He just needs to fill out. He's about 6'4", but he's only about 225 pounds, and he's going to have to get bigger and stronger, but they think he's got the build, and he's got the work ethic to get in the weight room and get bigger, and they think he's going to be a really good player for them in the future on the defensive line.
Jeff Charles joining us. That defense going to have to step up Friday night. You mentioned it earlier. Turnovers going to be a factor, Jeff, and ECU needs to win the turnover battle. And I'm going to say it. If they have 7 turnovers for us like they did in the championship game back in 2008, they can win this game, Jeff. That'd be nice to repeat that performance, right?
Yeah, the Pirates would take that. Going into this game, though, Clip, Tulsa's been pretty good. They're +3 in their turnover margin. They've taken the ball away 8 times through 3 games, so I'm not a mathematician, but they take it away almost 3 times every game. And so that's a factor going into this. When the Pirates come in, their turnover margin is -2. East Carolina's given it away 9 times, but Pirates do have 7 takeaways. I'll tell you what's another big stat in this game, Clip, as I'm doing my homework for the broadcast on Friday night. This one kind of jumped off the page at me. Tulsa, we talk about how good they are defensively, and the opponents are only converting on third down 30% of the time. So they're getting off the field 70% of the time on third down. So that's a concern, I think, for ECU going into this game. So their defense is really good. And when we talked about their offense, we didn't talk about their quarterback, Zach Smith, the Baylor transfer. And Clip, in this league, there are a lot of really good quarterbacks in the American. We talk about Shane Buechele at SMU, Desmond Ritter at Cincinnati, Brady White at Memphis, Dylan Gabriel at UCF, and nobody really talks too much about Zach Smith, but he's a really good quarterback. And the coaches told me today he's improved his arm strength from last year. And he's a big kid. He's an NFL size guy. He's like 6'3", 230 pounds. And he's got a good arm, and he's smart. He doesn't try and do too much, and he started at Baylor, as we know, in his career, and then transferred to Tulsa, and he's a senior. So he's a guy we don't talk a whole lot about in this league, but he's another reason why Tulsa's good this year.
Jeff Charles joining us with a breakdown of ECU Tulsa. Tough test for the Pirates for sure coming up on Friday. Jeff, you're going to be able to join us coming up 5 o'clock on Friday on the Bud Light pregame tailgate?
Yes, sir, I will be there, and because we have, for the first time this week, had access to do one-on-one interviews with the players, we're going to feature those players coming up on the show, the 5 to 6 hour on Friday Clip. We're going to sit down with Holton Ahlers and Jake Verity, talk with Jake about becoming the all-time points leader at ECU. ECU's kicker, Xavier Smith, who has 43 tackles, number 1 on the list going into the game. We're going to talk with Xavier as well, and also with Fernando Fry, the starting center. Fernando, he's done a really good job. They've moved him all over the offensive line, and they've put him in at center again because they've had to move people. And he's done a really nice job. He's a nice kid from Pennsylvania. Quite a story with Fernando Fry that we talked about last year. He came down to school here, Clip. You probably remember this story. He came to ECU from Erie, Pennsylvania, because his girlfriend was going to school at ECU, and he came down here with his girlfriend. He had played Division II football at Mercyhurst in Erie, but really did not have many aspirations of playing football here. Well, he gets down here, and he says, well, I'm going to school, so let me call the coaches and see if I can at least walk on or try out. He called the coaches. They said, come on over. He walked on, and last year he gets on the field. He starts a little bit, and now this year here he is as the starting center. And this is a guy that really came to ECU and really didn't ever expect to play football, and here he is now as a starter.
Turns out Fernando Fry's girlfriend, one of the best recruiters we got here, Jeff, bringing him to town.
We'll take everyone we can get.
Yes, sir, absolutely. All right, well, that's great. Looking forward to that coming up in the 5 o'clock hour on Friday. Jeff, thank you so much for your time as always. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Friday.
Okay, Cliff, sounds great. Thanks.
Thank you. There's the voice, Jeff Charles, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. We'll talk more about this game coming up next with Kelly Hines from the Tulsa World. But as we go to break, Shirley, we need to make somebody a winner.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
What are we giving away today?
We are giving away lunch from CPW.
CP Dubs. 317-1250. 317-1250. Caller 12 is a winner. Lunch at CPW's can be yours. We'll talk more ECU Tulsa when we return on Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
Paid for by Dylan for Judge.
Well, if it isn't Danny Lotz, the member of the 1957 National Championship Tar Heels. How you getting along, Danny?
CA, the Lord is really blessing me, and you look well. By the way, CA, have you seen the sample ballot for this year's election?
Well, I'm casting my vote for Chris Dillon.
I'm Judge Chris Dillon. Though my father and Dr. Lotz rooted for different teams, I was honored when they recorded that ad for my first campaign nearly a decade ago. Both men were great role models in my life, and I've strived to emulate their example of treating all people equally, no matter what team they rooted for or their politics. When you vote this year, please remember the 5 Court of Appeals races. I will be the only candidate on your ballot seeking re-election, having served longer on the court than the other 9 candidates combined. I have broad bipartisan support, including the endorsements of both Democrat and Republican judges. So no matter your affiliation, this year when you get to the judges, I would again be honored if you would vote to re-elect me, Judge Chris Dillon. Thank you.
So look for the judges and vote Chris Dillon.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Buick Enclave and save over $9,500 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Hey guys, are you tired of tagging along with your wife or your girlfriend when you need a pedicure or manicure? Do you feel intimidated being the only guy in a female nail salon? If so, then I have the solution for you. The Man Cave is now open. I'm Amanda and I've opened the Man Cave to give men a spot just for them and for their grooming needs. Come relax in our comfortable masculine atmosphere and enjoy some free drinks and snacks during your nail service. The Man Cave, next to Lighting by Design on Fire Tower Road in Greenville.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Hey, this is Chef David Finelli from Pop's Old Fashioned Cheeseburgers. Today I'm going to tell you about our family meal deals for 4 hungry adults. We offer Finelli's Cafe lasagna, chicken parmesan, eggplant parmesan, spaghetti and meatballs, our hamburger steak and gravy with mashed potatoes, pork chops. If you'd like to order, please go to our Pop's Old Fashioned Cheeseburgers Facebook page or our website. Choose your meal, order online, pay online, roll up, and we'll get it right out to your car. Thank you from the Pops crew.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Keep your vehicle clean with the Pirates Cove Car Wash Fast Pass. The Fast Pass allows you to have unlimited car washes every month at every location. Pirates Cove Car Wash has locations in Greenville on 10th Street, Fire Tower Road, and Memorial Drive. Pirates Cove Car Wash, the ultimate car wash experience and the official car wash of ECU Athletics. And congratulations to Doug Whitehead of Washington. Picked up free lunch at CPW's. CPW's is back. CPW's classic menu is also back with all of your favorites like tortellini CPW's, Cajun chicken and pasta, classic lasagna, the garbage pizza, the stromboli, calzone, Atlantic salmon, Cajun fried shrimp wrap, and more. Start every meal off with your favorite beverage and CPW's fresh baked bread and garlic butter. CPW's is back open for lunch in the Stanton Square Shopping Center next to the hospital, and you can follow CPW's on Facebook for daily updates. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Alrighty, welcome back to Pirate Radio Live here on a Wednesday. We got one more Pirate Radio Live this week coming up Thursday at 3 o'clock, and then on Friday we will begin the Bud Light pregame tailgate at 5 o'clock. Taking you up to the 9 o'clock kickoff, ECU and Tulsa, and we're with you after the game on the U.S. Cellular 5th quarter call-in show. Let's learn a little bit more about those Golden Hurricanes as we head out to the Fixed NC Live line and talk to Kelly Hines from the Tulsa World. Kelly, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. And this will be our second look at Tulsa today. Talked to Bruce Howard in hour number 1. And now we'll get some thoughts from Kelly on this 2-1 football team that, again, I've been asking the question all week. When did this Golden Hurricane team get so good, Kelly? And we kind of look back at last year, close losses to really good teams. They go on and beat UCF late in the year last year. They hammer ECU to finish the 2019 season, and they have picked back up where they left off from last year, and looks like Philip Montgomery's got a good football team that ECU will be facing on Friday night.
Yeah, I really think that ECU game is where kind of things started clicking, and you know, I was at that game, and it was just kind of impressive to see what Tulsa was capable of after having, you know, a relatively disappointing year with the close losses especially. But still is competitive in most games, and to be able to build on that, you know, they were able to do that by having just about everybody back on offense. And even though they had to replace some key pieces on defense, they had a lot of depth that they had created in the last few years. A lot of guys who weren't true returning starters but had played a lot. And so they really were able to, as you said, pick up where they left off. And, you know, 2020 has been a bizarre year for everyone. It's certainly been bizarre for Tulsa, but to be able to overcome the schedule issues and be able to get going, you know, even after only 3 games, you know, it's certainly been impressive so far.
And again, it is strange to sit here in late October and Tulsa not have a home game yet, but they will on Friday night, Kelly. And I believe, and I believe you might have wrote this article that I read in Tulsa World from September that said Tulsa would be allowed around 4,000 fans. Again, I read that from September. Is that still the case heading into Friday?
Yeah, that's a really good question. As of now, that's the plan, but you know, the numbers here in Tulsa County and all of Oklahoma are really not great. This is as bad as it's been COVID-wise. So it honestly would not surprise me if they if the university decided to back off that number. I don't think there'll be more than 4,000 there. it's just it's been an issue getting people to come out to home games for Tulsa these last few years, and they've been struggling. And now I think there's a lot of interest, and it's kind of disappointing for it to be this year when they're playing really well, and to have very limited number of fans allowed. But as of right now, the plan is for about 4,000. It's a 30,000 seat stadium, so 4,000 is obviously not very many. So it's going to be, every game that I've been to so far has been weird. So I think that'll just continue.
You're right. Talking to Kelly Hines from the Tulsa World today on Pirate Radio Live. And again, I mentioned it earlier in hour one, Tulsa has 3 running backs with over 100 yards on the year, 3 receivers with over 150 yards receiving this year. And of course, that's led by Keelan Stokes. But who are the guys Pirate fans need to watch out for on Friday night that are game changers on this Tulsa offense?
Yeah, I'm really high on Deneric Prince. He's played pretty well. He had a 62-yard touchdown run last week against South Florida. He's a Texas A&M transfer who he's got some wheels. Zach Smith has played much better. To go from last year when the offensive line really struggled, and he took the brunt of that for sure. Got sacked, I think, 36 times, not ideal. But he's really developed his game, and when he has time, he's a very accurate passer, and he's had time these last couple games, and it's made a huge difference. Receiver-wise, they have quite a few weapons. You mentioned Keelan Stokes, Sam Crawford Jr., Josh Johnson, Juan Carlos Santana. I mean, they have several, and it's kind of unpredictable as to who's going to have a big game. But as you mentioned, they've had some balance there between the run game and the pass game, and that's what they want. That's what Tulsa wants to do, and to see that happen almost down the middle, 50-50. The run pass balance against USF. That's why Tulsa was able to win that game the way it did. And that's, I'm sure, what they're going to look to do this week against ECU.
Talking to Kelly Hines from the Tulsa World, and you mentioned Prince, the running back, and also the starting quarterback for Tulsa. And when you look at football these days, it's not just recruiting, it's the transfer market. And how much has Philip Montgomery been able to take advantage of that as far as the stars on this football team when it comes to transfers versus traditional recruiting, Kelly?
Yeah, I think more so the traditional recruiting has turned out pretty good, because what's really striking about this Tulsa team, even though they the last 3 years have been disappointing, there really weren't many guys who left the team, and I think that says a lot about the potential for a program. If you're able to hold on to guys even when you're not having a lot of success. Those are the guys who are still going to stick around when things are going good. It's that foundation has been built. So I think for the most part, the guys that they brought in have stuck around, and there have been some departures. Certainly at quarterback, I think you're going to see that more so than anywhere else. But bringing Zach Smith in as a transfer from Baylor has worked out very well. But really not a ton of transfers elsewhere. Deneric Prince, that was one of the few exceptions, and that's obviously working out well too. But I think primarily, focusing on recruiting in Texas and Oklahoma, that's been the ticket for Philip Montgomery.
ECU looking for their second win of the season, their second win on the road this season, as they knocked off South Florida a few weeks ago. Tulsa looking to win their first home game, and also looking to win on Friday and maybe do some scoreboard watching on Saturday, because right now receiving 80 votes was Tulsa this week in the AP poll, and Memphis receiving 105, Liberty 85, and then Tulsa, so practically 28th in the country if you want to look at it that way. And have you guys talked about this week around there? Kelly, when is the last time Tulsa has been ranked in the top 25? Do you know?
It's been a decade. So the past decade has been, not the best era of Tulsa football. And you go back to 2010 when Todd Graham was coach at TU. That was a really good year. They won the Hawaii Bowl. That was a good season. Finished I think ranked 24th in the country. Really since then, just occasionally getting some votes here and there, but even in 2016 when Tulsa was pretty good, 10-win season, even then wasn't able to crack the top 25. So to be able to do that this year would be pretty significant for this team because they just haven't had a lot of success these last few years. But what was really funny about that receiving votes deal was on ESPN's website, they put Tulane as receiving 80 votes instead of Tulsa, and Tulsa, just kind of views that as just another example of not getting a lot of respect.
I am aware of that because Monday on the show, as we were starting to talk about ECU Tulsa, I was, we're doing a live program, and I'm looking at the rankings to see how many votes they got this week, and could not find their name, and that's because they did indeed have Tulane instead of Tulsa listed. So, and I love that like Tulsa's using that. I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about like the fans or the coaches or players.
Both.
Use anything you can as a chip, right? As they don't believe in us.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's been a recurring thing for Tulsa. Just they feel like they're overlooked. It is the smallest FBS school, and it is kind of an afterthought. When people think of the conference, it's not one of the programs that they automatically think of. So anytime they feel like they're not getting respect, I think players especially feed into that. And, whatever works.
That's right. Talking to Kelly Hines today on Pirate Radio Live, getting a look at the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Kelly, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. And we will talk to you again down the road.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. There is Kelly Hines with Tulsa World joining us on Pirate Radio Live today. And, man, you kind of start to get a little jealous about what's going on in Tulsa right now. And as Jeff Charles said, I think he made a good point that the administration has stuck with Philip Montgomery, let him build this thing. And Kelly said there was some solid recruiting years, and everybody has stayed in the program. And the old Joe Dooley line from last week, you got to get old and stay old. That's what he's trying to do with ECU basketball, retaining players. Philip Montgomery's been able to retain his guys and also bring transfers into the program, like their star running back, like their starting quarterback. So they have built it, and right now Mike Houston is trying to do that. He's in the early stages of building something here at East Carolina. All right, let's take our final time out. We will come back and hear more from Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell. And if you would like to chime in, you can do so on Facebook Live and Twitter as we roll on Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Back with you after this.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Representative John Bell, the Majority Leader of the North Carolina House, and it has been an honor serving the people of Eastern North Carolina the last 8 years. I've had the privilege of working with your local representatives, Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey, as they delivered hundreds of millions of dollars in COVID relief funding to our small businesses, healthcare providers, and families right here in Pitt County. Unfortunately, their opponents are funded by radical liberal out-of-state donors that want to destroy our agriculture heritage, defund the police, and silence your voice by buying this election. This is not North Carolina. We cannot and will not let this happen. Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey are focused on solutions, not revolutions. They will make sure your voice is heard and represent our Eastern North Carolina values. So Pirate Nation, the choice is clear. On November 3rd, please support and vote for Dr. Perrin Jones and Chris Humphrey for the North Carolina House. Strong voices for Eastern North Carolina. Paid for by the John Bell Committee.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get the latest phones free. Upgrade to Fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port, and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
I'm an evangelical Christian, and for 28 years I voted Republican. But Tom Tillis lines up with the special interest. He takes their money, he votes with them.
That's John from Greensboro, and he's right. Tom Tillis has been waist deep in Washington corruption, taking $1 million from the drug and insurance industries, voting their way. Tillis voted to let insurance companies charge seniors higher premiums, to end protections for pre-existing conditions, and Tillis even voted to cut rural hospitals, giving tax breaks to his wealthy donors instead.
Tillis is more interested in lining the pockets of rich fat cats who are contributing to his campaign than he is in taking care of his constituents.
It's so corrupt, his donors are now under federal investigation. Tom Tillis, rural Carolina, is the last thing on his mind.
It's time for a change.
Paid for by SMP, which is responsible for the content of this ad. SenateMajority.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Hi, this is Morgan Ahlers, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. If you're in the market for quality used vehicles, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store and Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Taking a look at your stock market for today, it was a rough day. The Dow dropped 943 points and closed at 26,519. The NASDAQ is down 426 at 11,004, and the S&P is also down 119 points and closed out at 3,271. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back into the program. And it's a great song by the Cranberries, but I like Linger and Dreams more than Zombie. I don't know if that's a hot take, but that's how I feel about it.
Linger I liked a lot, but I did like Zombie. It was just, it's such a banger of a song for me.
Chandler will be teaming up with me tonight on Sports Trivia at AJ's, and we'll have a guest hosting. They came up with the questions. So
it's not Steve Hill, is it?
It is not. It is a gentleman named Clark hosting tonight.
All right.
Chandler, let's get the mind going a little bit. You've probably already seen this news since you're on social media. Did you see who the Rockets' new coach is?
Yeah, I was telling Shirley a while ago, and can I mention it?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was going to give you a clue.
Well, the last name is very familiar a lot to Charlotte sports fans, and a while ago I was like, oh, man, Stephen Silas is lined up to be the next Rockets coach, and she's like, great, who is that? And I'm like, well, as a former Bobcats, I'm now Hornets now. His dad is Paul Silas, and who coached the Bobcats for quite some time, and also coached in the NBA. He bounced around, I think. Stephen Silas actually, though, I think stepped in as like an interim coach for the Bobcats at one point. Was it because of his dad's health issues, or was it because somebody got fired?
It might have been. Well, Steve Clifford had health issues.
That's right. Steve Clifford was the head coach before he went off to Orlando.
Yeah,
and I think Stephen Silas came in and stepped in for him.
And he has been with Charlotte since 2010 to 2018, and then the last couple of years with the Mavericks. So
did he stay with Charlotte that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that either. I looked it up on Wikipedia just now. But I knew he was there, and good for him taking over the Houston Rockets as their head basketball coach, not football coach. They'd have a pretty good football team, though, with Westbrook and Harden.
Oh, gosh.
I think Russell Westbrook would be a great quarterback.
Or like a safety or something?
He could play pretty much anywhere. He is the ultimate athlete. Can't shoot that well, though. Shirley, let's hear a couple more cuts before we get out of here on a Wednesday. And let's go back to Donnie Kirkpatrick. Cut 6, Shirley. He gave his thoughts on the offense through the first 4 games of the season.
Well, I don't know. We kind of have a say, and I guess you're as strong as the weight you lift. You're as fast as the time you run. You know what I'm saying? You're as tall as you measure, I guess. So you are what you are. We don't try to go past that. We're obviously much better team, though, than we were last year. I think anybody that's watching us would say that. Now, the schedule has been a little more direct this year in that we opened up with Central Florida. We did open up with a really good North Carolina State team. I thought last year at the beginning of the season they were pretty good. But I don't want to insult anybody, but the schedule had a few more games in there for us to get going. Offensively, we did not play particularly well early in the season. So based on the first 4 games from last year to the first 4 games this year, our record may still stink, but we're way up. We're a lot better offensive football team in the first 4 games. We played probably 4 better teams than we played in the first 4 game overall. So it's just hard to measure it. We've tried not to get too depressed, okay, or get too much. I think there was a point in there after the Georgia State game we were all we were having to tell each other, don't get too upset, don't jump off the ledge. It was hard not to want to get on some kids a little bit, maybe more than we should have gotten on them. Coach Houston did a nice job with that, of coming in and having a no pouting rule, a no whining rule. You know what I'm saying? That we're going to get that past us. There must have been a lot of noise out there. I learned a long time ago, y'all are outstanding at what y'all do. I don't pay a lot of attention to what you say, because if you said something really good about me, that'd make me probably screw up more. If you're saying something bad, that'd probably make me mad at you, and that wouldn't help the situation either. So not that I don't hear anything, but just kind of stay away from that and just kind of stay at it. Now, after the season, you may go back and kind of look at it and all that stuff. But I know I'm telling you, giving you a long answer. We're a lot better, but again, you are what you are.
You are what you are. ECU will have Holton Ahlers back this week at quarterback. Donnie Kirkpatrick was asked about Mason Garcia and learning from the mistakes following his first start. This is cut 5, Shirley.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Now, he came in on that Sunday. I said, all right, Mason, put your helmet on, better strap up a little bit. You usually sit in here and the other guy gets all the critique, and it's kind of nice and easy. You sit back and kind of watch that. Now it's going to all be aimed at you. And, Mason played, I think, 65 plays in the game, and there were 33 plays that he really was a major factor in the result of those plays. And the percentage of those were still pretty good. He had 6 or 7, though, that if he could have made the throw or made the read, would have made a world of difference. And when he saw them, he was like, oh, my goodness, it's just, wow, how did I miss that? How did I didn't know that, And so then I brought him back again the next day, and we rewatched those 30-some plays again, just one-on-one, so that I could be a little more direct with him, because as a true freshman, I didn't want to totally just destroy him, not even meaning to. But, really on a football play, a coach can kind of go through that play and dissect it for a long time, and everybody does a little something that you're like, well, you should have stepped here a little bit better. You probably should have done this. So, I tried not to destroy him in front of the group, then brought him back one-on-one. I was able to really, kind of really get into some of that. And, I think he grew leaps and bounds. The issue with it is he's a great talented player, and he's going to be outstanding. he didn't have spring ball. He wasn't an early enrollee. He got here in July, and it's the weirdest summer ever because some of the meetings were Zoom, and I don't know, kids, especially rookies, they're not ready for Zoom meetings. You gotta be in, right there with them. You gotta be able to be a little more direct with them and that. So, the practices were kind of inconsistent. The other big thing was we brought in several new quarterbacks. So we really kind of put them all in there and let them kind of work and let it filter itself out. So he wasn't just getting all the reps early. So the other thing, he'd had 3 plays against Georgia State in mop-up duty, which, hardly anybody was paying attention to that point. So he didn't have very much experience going into that game. Navy is a very complex defense. One of the tougher things to figure for a quarterback. Houghton kind of, talked to him for me a little bit, and Houghton said, "Boy, Coach, I hate to say it, I won't say it to him. This is not the game you want to be your first start against Navy with that defense. You'd rather be somebody that lines up a little more simple." But he handled it okay, and he's learned a lot. He's been better in practices since then. So, you get better playing. I wish we could play all of them more. It'd be great, but obviously the games just don't let you do that.
Donnie Kirkpatrick there, ECU offensive coordinator, and of course, as a coach, you don't put all your eggs into one basket when it comes to winning just one football game, because if you do win it, well, who cares? You got another one the following week. If you lose it, same deal. You got another one the following week. So with all that being said, Donnie Kirkpatrick was asked if he's feeling a sense of urgency to get the second win of the season. This is Cut 8, Shirley.
Well, let's just kind of go back because it's all of an individual situation. You mentioned Mooney, Demetrius Mooney.
8. Hit it again?
Well, let's just kind of go back because it's all of an individual situation.
Oh, no. Are 7 and 8 the same? Oh, I did a bad job of cutting these up today. Well, I probably saved the same cuts there. So, oh, well. Yeah, what do you got over there, Shirley?
Give me a second because I think the time lengths are not the same, so it could have been.
I'll tell you exactly what I did if you want to have an all-fair conversation. So cut 7, I left short, and then cut 8, I added on the rest of Donnie's answer that's supposed to be on cut 7. So we'll bring you cut 8 tomorrow and hear that. All right, let's hear from Blake Harrell then. That's fine. Blake Harrell, too, he was asked by Ronnie Woodward, can you carry anything over from the Navy game, or do you just kind of have to scrap that because their offense is obviously so different from Tulsa? Here's what he had to say.
Well, anytime you play a triple option, obviously we did some good things in the game. I wish we could have put a complete game together, but we did some good things that I think helps us, our confidence, just helps us, hey, we can play fast, we can play with great effort, all those type of things, and make some plays against a good Navy football team. But anytime you go facing the triple option to a more traditional offense, it takes a few days to get back in line of, hey, we're going to go have pass scale and we're going to drop into coverage this week. For the linebackers, they were used to being about 4 yards and playing downhill and tackling the dive and along with their D linemen. So you had to get those guys back in the pass rush mode and linebackers back in the pass drops and hey guys, we're going to actually get out of the box this week and move around a little bit. So that was a little bit different. And the good thing, we had the bye week, which was kind of nice that you had a few extra days to get them back into that mode and got to go against our offense a little bit. So it helped kind of make that transition a little smoother.
Blake Harrell, ECU defensive coordinator. We'll hear more from the coordinators coming up on tomorrow's edition of Pirate Radio Live. Also from the head coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston. Also on Thursday, we're going to be like the coaches now. Our Friday's a Thursday, Thursday's a Wednesday. Tony Dunn, usually on Fridays, will join us on Thursday. We'll have our NFL picks, get you ready for Panthers-Falcons coming up Thursday night. Also, Stephen Igo, Hoist the Colors, will join us, and Troy D., Bryce Williams, and Touchdown Tony Collins. A big edition of Thursday here on Pirate Radio Live. For Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt, I am Cliff Brock. We'll see you Thursday at 3. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive